Good evening. Look at the dark look. Well, it's darker than I thought it was going to be. We're glowing. Some say I'm glowing. Get that cord out of the way. Probably use some more lights in this bitch, but there we go. Ominous night tonight. Move the camera up a little bit, going right out of frame. Good evening. It felt weird not to talk to you this morning. I went to a children's Christmas program where my daughter with dad's ADHD got bored and just hung out in a playhouse while she was supposed to be doing a sing along in a Newsies cap. So that's what I missed you guys for today. It was good. Cinnamon rolls, that was good. We built candy trains. That was good. Enjoyed all of it. Some of you we hung out with last night. That was weird. No, probably not debating tonight. Trump's address is going to be in like an hour. And we can't take guests on TikTok right now because we're using Streamlabs. So if you're watching on TikTok and you're wondering why there's no guest requests, it's because we can't take guest requests right now. I didn't know what to do. Thought about committing some crime. It was better. I think it was better than most things. The two people that we debated forever eventually kind of just gave up. Amanda did fall asleep on the live. She was up there not adding a goddamn thing, not even snoring, nothing cool at all. No one should be on TikTok anyway. Laura comes in here with the motherly advice. All right. Well, we are going to watch the address because what do we think? I don't know what to think about today. There's a part of me that is just saying, if you were going to sabotage your own presidency and have a reason to be removed from office before the Epstein files dropped, you might do exactly what this administration has been doing all day today. Because it's just been a weird day. I'll get into it here. I forgot to open up my outline. Anybody else feel like if you follow the news, like it was just one holy shit after another today? Everything that popped up, I was like, what the fuck? Why are they doing that? Dan Bongino, yeah, resigning. And then it turns out like it's being leaked that he said that he was going to resign on the 19th, which is the last day the Epstein files can be released. You got Susie Wiles doing that interview, which I'll cover tomorrow. I haven't got through it yet. Susie Wiles doing that interview, though, where she was way too candid for somebody who worked for Trump. And then they're coming out like denying that she said stuff when she clearly knows that they have recordings. Like if I didn't know better, I would say that people are sabotaging Donald Trump right now, and they seem to be sabotaging him by just letting him keep talking. Like, yeah, dude, keep going in front of a microphone. She did deny something. I saw right before I left. She denied calling Elon like a ketamine, called him ketamine or some shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, doesn't that kind of seem like what it is, Jamie? I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just the crazy world that we live in. Maybe this is me just hoping that this is all some plan and we're not actually run by crazy people. Avowed ketamine user. That's not even a slur. He says that. What? Why would she deny that? He is that, isn't he? Isn't that Elon's thing? Doesn't he love ketamine? I thought that was his thing. I pray he doesn't declare. Well, he's going to declare war. I think that's happening. Congress tried to give him authorization. We'll get into that. Let's just jump into it, actually. Reminder, like always, we're crowdfunded. So if you can help us knock out our gift goal by the end of the night, that'd be greatly appreciated. Same rules apply. Jen sent me this, though. I didn't know Good Trouble was a photographer. That probably makes sense why his videos always look good. But he did a breakdown of the photographs, I guess. I guess these were from the Vanity Fair article, right? That's what these are for. This was fascinating to me. I have no idea if anything he says here makes any sense, but it was fascinating, so I'm going to show it.
I'm a photographer. I have a whole ass degree in this, and I would like to talk about these photos. You've all seen this one. We've been
son of a bitch. Who won it? Son of a bitch. Who won the bet? Fuck. God damn it. Fuck. Who won, Jen?
I think a lot of people were betting that. So I mean, I don't know if they had one particular person, but I think there was a variety of people who made that guess.
There were early bets in the Discord on the first thing I would screw up, and it was that. And I told myself I wouldn't make any I wouldn't screw up at all. Just immediately fucked it up. Yeah.
Hi, I'm a
Here you go.
professional photographer. I have a whole ass degree in this, and I would like to talk about these photos. You've all seen this one. We've been gripped, transfixed by the detail and brutality of this fucking image. But I want to talk about the rest of them because they are just as fucking brutal. Chris Anderson is smashing two perspectives here. These intense, almost microscopic
That's tough. That's a mugshot. That's just a mugshot right there. That's tough to look at. That is, I mean, she's a dead ringer for, I got her name the other day, Dolores Umbridge. No lip, just, we've got to make sure we show that you have absolutely no upper or bottom lip. That's tough.
Where all the subjects cannot possibly hide.
That's and just pushing out a poop there.
These sort of
go back there.
Shots,
you got to rewind like
this
this.
Sort of true.
Are we pushing out a poop there?
Where all the subjects.
Right before he finishes in the couch. I'd be so pissed if I was any of them. They might think it's cool. I don't know. I'd be so mad if I was any of them.
Cannot possibly hide. And these sort of isolating shots, unveiling the sort of true nature of their role in this administration, which is incredibly small and isolating and frail. I just want to call your attention to a couple of moments here. This seemingly as if he's holding a cane or a walker, and he's leaving all of these little gritty, disgusting details, but the mirror image of this. And back here, if you look closely, this sort of shadowy figure in the background.
It's killed me. It just left somebody in the back talking on the phone.
Pulling the strings quietly behind the scenes. The incredibly gaudy fake veneer revealed. Oftentimes centering themselves in this perceived importance. This little moment back here also of this guy just looking disapprovingly at this. Ugh. They're images of isolation and powerlessness. Whatever the fuck this is. Small, frail, isolated.
That one. That's, what did they tell him? What did they tell him to do there? Do the Donald Trump lean? I don't know. Yeah, how did you even get him into this pose? Is that how he stands? I don't. It is so uncomfortable. What did they say to get him to do that? I don't know how you would instruct someone to make that pose. Now lean like daddy. I don't know. Illusion said he's going to be unilaterally declare war before the files. Will you bet $5 against me on that? No, I think he's going to do that too.
Nod to Donald Trump's posture here. This is photojournalism at fucking 11. Great job. Hi, I'm a professional photographer. Well, I have a whole...
Fascinating. Keep going. Oh, is there more? Did he do a second one? Or maybe you're just a little behind there. Feels like the photographer said these were test shots. Trying to find his spine. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. See if you can stand like a human being. I'll do my best. That was bizarre. I haven't read the article yet. It doesn't sound like it was very didn't sound like it was very friendly to Trump. Also, Ginger sent last night a vote for Rain energy drink. It's 10 out of 10. I'll give that a shot. Is that the R, like, how'd you spell that? REIGN? Yeah, so it's like a WWE energy drink. That's what it sounds like. Rain, but it gets you buzzing. All right. Here's what I think we're previewing tonight. And Jen, will you keep an eye on when he actually speaks? It's supposed to be in 45 minutes, right? Right.
Did you say it was supposed to be at 7 Eastern?
I don't remember.
All right. I'll look. I'll check.
Okay. I was watching a bunch of clips for the Republicans that are going out like pre-sailing this war. They're obviously either they're testing the waters or they know what announcement's about to come, and so a bunch of people have been going out and they're selling this. And I think it's important to remember who they're selling this to when you watch this clip. Sometimes we take this clip and it might be what Bernie Moreno means, but what they're trying to do right now is sell acceptance for what Trump's going to do. They want people to buy in to the fact that Donald Trump's legitimately about to do our economy's collapsing, so let's go to war and steal people's oil. Like, we've done this before. This is the most transparent version of it. They're just saying it. They're like, yeah, we're going to go over there and we're going to take oil. Well, I hope you're right, Joseph. But Bernie Moreno thinks that we're about to go to war. What's up?
It's at 9 Eastern, so 2 hours. So 2 hours. Oh, less than 2 hours.
All right, great. Here's Bernie Moreno. But the reason I want to show this is because Bernie is telling MAGA. Bernie's talking to Republicans. He is trying to sell the American public on this, and this is how he chose to sell them.
We invite people here on our terms. Assimilation is the first level of requirement to come here. You have to learn our language. You can't be dependent on social safety programs. And even the visitors that come into our country, we have to be careful. Look, at the end of the day, our job here in Washington, D.C. is to protect the people of the United States of America. Biden
we're not under attack. When I was debating last night, is one of the things that really struck me is that the people that still support Trump, what they do is they take the underlying message and say, oh, if I agree with the underlying message, then I agree with what they're about to do. All of us agree that part of the role of the government is to keep us safe. We all agree with that. We're not under attack. And that's why we can't get anywhere. That's why that conversation yesterday was so fucking frustrating. That's why it just drives me nuts. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, they're supposed to protect us. If we have enemy combatants, they're supposed to protect us, but we don't have those. We're just making up enemy combatants. That's what they're doing, and they're just trying to sell this. And it's the same old playbook that Republicans have always used as long as I've been alive. Scare your constituents into voting for you. Don't give them good policy. Don't give them anything really to look forward to. Scare them into voting for you. And to some level, that exists all throughout politics. But it's never been more transparent with the GOP, I think, than now. There's nothing they can lean on. The only thing they can really lean on right now is, oh, we're going after criminals. Yeah, everybody's been going after criminals. The Biden administration did that. So did the Trumps. So did the Obamas. Like, we never stopped going after criminals. We're at historic low violent crime rates in this country. We're not under attack. Immigrants aren't destroying our country. This is just what you do when you know you don't have answers. And here's reality that's staring us in the face. 38 trillion-ish in debt now. There's no end in sight to our debt. We're going to continue deficit spending. We're looking at inflation that keeps ticking up. No matter what they keep telling us that inflation is, it didn't exist. Now it's not going up. It's remaining the same. Now they're all citing 2.4 because they're not citing the numbers from now. They're consistently talking about 9.5% inflation under Joe Biden so that they can compare that with their 4.7% now, and it doesn't look as bad. And they leave out like, oh, it's gone up since Trump was in power. And it doesn't look like it's getting much better. If you look at economically at the road ahead of us, you listen to Jerome Powell, he's basically saying our currency is going to devalue. We've got to do something to stop this inflation. The last time this happened, after Carter into Reagan, even Reagan was more sensible than this. Yeah, Reagan lowered taxes and he gave tax breaks to spur investment, but he didn't have like a buy a private jet loophole. The loopholes that wealthy people had to invest required them to invest in their workers and in their businesses and in innovation. Right now, people get write-offs for just investing in stocks. People get write-offs for flying on a plane. People now are able to take their companies with 10,000 employees, and they can fly to China or to Taiwan or to India, and they can offshore as many of those jobs as they want. And they actually get to pay for their private travel. So they get to write that off. They get to go do private travel, figure out a way to cut jobs here in America, come back, and our government says, Great job. You're investing. You get a tax cut for all that work. And then a CEO gets in front of a microphone and he goes, I have to have a private plane because my time is valuable. I went and negotiated that deal in Taiwan and I was able to lower costs from our company by 20%. That's why I'm valuable. That's $20 billion. We just never talk about the fact that they laid everybody off. So our tax structure makes no sense. But even Reagan understood that. And as they were cutting taxes to spur on investment, they were also raising rates. The Fed wasn't doing what it's doing now, where it gives in to political pressure and tries to keep rates artificially low so that people can win elections. They were raising the rates. They did the opposite. We had this weird period during Carter and the first part of Reagan where we had increasing inflation and increasing unemployment, just like we have now, but we acted differently. So we recovered from that. And even the Republicans who laud Ronald Reagan, they apparently aren't learning from that because they're doing the opposite of what Reagan did. They're doing the opposite of what actually has worked. It was a patchwork. It didn't solve all of our problems, but they're not even doing the good stuff Republicans have done historically. They just want to tell you that they're going to cut their taxes. Trump's talking about cutting income taxes now. They have no fucking clue what they're doing, so they're going to sell you on fear. It's never been more obvious that this group of Republicans is the most economically illiterate group of Republicans ever. And by the way, we're up against like a real battle for supremacy in this world. I don't like our odds with this administration. I think Russia's smarter than us. I think India's smarter than us. I think China's smarter than us. I'm looking at what's happening in China's like housing market right now, and they're taking concrete steps, and they're telling their people like this takes time, and they're investing smartly so that they can reduce the impact of a housing market collapse. And in America, we just close our eyes and keep pretending that it's not happening. Guys, I don't have a lot of trust in them. If they had anything besides fear to sell you, they'd be selling you something besides fear. We'll see what Trump says tonight. Let's see what they sell you besides fear. But Bernie Moreno is just selling fear.
Biden completely abdicated that responsibility. We have to fix it. We have to turbocharge deportations and get serious about making certain that we never let something like that happen again.
Well, Senator, what
we invite?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If you wanted to tank your economy and country, you do everything Trump did this year. We've seen it. You know who did what Trump's doing? Argentina. Argentina's basically been like the breeding grounds for our what we want to do, and it didn't work. So we bailed them out, and we won't admit that it doesn't work because everybody that works in Washington right now for this administration thinks they're the smartest fucking guy in the room, and they're just ignoring math. I'm not that, like, compared to a lot of people, I'm not that smart. If I'm ahead of the Trump administration, everybody should be worried. If I understand it better than they do, we should all be worried. And I do. That's no lie. I understand economics better than them. That's a fucking problem. You don't want me in charge of the country. You don't want to rely on my opinions on the economy. And yet, I'm miles ahead of this administration. It's not good. These are really, really dumb people and really corrupt people taking advantage of really dumb people. Increasing taxes on the wealthy screws us all. We all want freedom, not slavery. All of it. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys don't know how to sell any of your ideas without fear-mongering. Increasing taxes screws us all. How? I don't know. We want freedom, not slavery. It's slavery if we increase the taxes on rich people. Do you see what I mean? Like, and they're like the dumber version of their MAGA daddies. So you got MAGA daddies feeding them full of dumb shit, and they can't even stomach the dumb shit, so they come out with that. Taxes are actually slavery. Okay. It's pathetic. Like, you guys got to be better. Luckily, there's, I hope America is smarter than this. I hope they figure this out soon. Trump went to dinner, I think earlier today, or lunch, where he was, I think he was getting some recognition from some, I don't know what it was, a Hanukkah reception. So I don't know if he put this on or if this was somebody else's event. But he had a Hanukkah reception in the White House, and he said some weird shit, including this. if you didn't know, like, let's just pretend that none of you have heard anything about us bombing Iran. Would you be able to tell what this guy was talking about?
They can fly those things the way they can
It was last night. Thank you.
aim it at a target in the dark of night, the darkest you've ever seen. They wanted to be as dark as possible. They didn't want anything.
Can we count tonight? I don't know. I know we have bingo probably tonight. Can we count tonight in Trump's speech the time he says, the amount of times he said either something's never happened before or it's the greatest that's ever been? I just want to, like, I'm going to be super petty with Trump from now on. I'm tired of pretending that this guy's not a fucking idiot. He just said it was the darkest night ever.
Target in the dark of night, the darkest you've ever seen. They wanted to.
Darkest you've ever seen. You know why he says that? Because he doesn't have other words. His vocabulary is limited. So he just says something like Shane Gillis actually nailed this. He's like, Trump just says something and then he repeats it, but with more vigor. The dark night, the darkest you've ever seen. Okay.
To be as dark as possible. They didn't want anything. And the only time anybody could.
They didn't want anything. He's talking about a plane flying into Iran on the darkest night, the darkest dark you could ever have. There could be no more dark than that. They didn't want anything. What does that mean? What does any of this mean? What do you mean they didn't want anything?
See those planes was when those bomb chutes open up, because it becomes totally unstealth when it goes. I explained that to Mark Levin once. You go in.
Can you imagine being Mark Levin right now? Like, fuck, I have to hear this shit again. He explained to me how the bottom of the plane opens up and the bombs drop. Everybody knows this. I had to explain it to Mark Levin. Sure you did, pal.
And you go like this, and as soon as it goes like this, for some reason.
What?
It goes like this, and as soon as you go like this.
It's your president. This guy's a fucking idiot. I'm going to just be petty with him. He's not saying anything. These aren't real sentences. If you were reading this as a book, you'd be like, what the fuck is he talking about? How could you be illiterate while speaking? It's crazy.
For some reason, the plane is totally visible, not good. And I watched it happening, and it's like I'm sitting home watching it. You know, it's amazing. The Situation Room is an amazing place. But I watched him go, bing, bing. It went bing, bing, and two massive 100,000.
Yeah, it went bing, bing. That's what it did. God, we are under MAGA's skin right now. What's up, bitches? What you guys doing here with your feelings all hurt tonight? You're going to fucking hate this place. I see a lot of names I don't recognize. I want to let you know in advance, you're going to fucking hate it here. We have rules here, and the rules are going to suck. Let me tell you the rules while you're here. If you can't stay on topic, I mute you. You get deported. We don't want you here poisoning the blood of this country. We don't want you here poisoning the spirit that we've built. You will fucking assimilate. Do you understand? You will assimilate. You will speak the language that we want you to speak in the way that we want you to speak it, or you will be deported back to all the way to the back of the line. And if you show up and you get to the back of the line and you make it back in after being deported and you cry like bitches again, you're getting deported again. And my mods sometimes get bored because I get long-winded. And just like the ICE agents here, there's not really any rules. They can actually just deport you if they fucking feel like it. So even though I do have rules, and I'll be pointing out those of you who need to be muted and getting deported tonight because you will not assimilate, you're destroying the blood of this country, you're coming in, you're ruining our culture, taking away jobs that we inherited when we won the YouTube war. That's right. Deport you and you'll come right back. Well, we'll fight with the strength of 10 lions, Seth. You're going to fucking hate it here. Welcome. Right now we're talking about, is Donald Trump functionally illiterate? You can talk about that. Any shots at me are fine as long as you're responding to what I say. But if you're just saying like, you're a dub, you're a clown. Also, if I see something that you say making fun of me and I've read it before, I'm also going to deport you because we don't want unoriginal immigrants coming into our space. So you'll be deported if you use somebody else's insult as well. Here we go. 1,000-pound
bombs come pouring out. And
there we go. Sully said, RTP After Dark, love you all. Thanks, Sully. Love you too. Bamaril, I think I read that. Bamaril, maybe not. You were on fire last night. I was so proud. Thank you. Tony said Venezuela stole all our oil. No idea how. Yeah, they came in and stole our oil and buried it under their land. Now we got to go get it back.
The job they did was incredible. I mean, compare that to, I mean, I thought he was a nice man, but compare that to the Jimmy Carter attack on, that was not good, with the helicopters and the men running all over the place trying to get the hell out of there. This was.
It's not like the Jimmy Carter, the helicopter with the men all running around. Yeah, what the fuck is this guy saying? He's an idiot. That's why people get so mad at me. That's why the MAGA that comes in here gets so mad at me, because this is tough to stomach. And I get it for you guys. I get it. You've got egos. You tied your identity to this guy. You put on the fucking hat. You wore it as a badge of honor. And now we're getting here and you're realizing, this guy knows about 8 sentences and he just says them over and over and over again. And when he gets off script, it's a real problem.
It's not good.
Adam, I'm not the only mad one here. Adam, it will be deported for 2 minutes. I'm starting off petty. Adam, you have a 2-minute mute for having the audacity to come to this country and complain. How dare you?
This was the single greatest military attack that anyone's ever seen.
Greatest military we've ever seen was how that ended. Anybody want to tell me what he was talking about there? This will help. This is the one where I'm like, when I watch this video, I text my friends that are like apolitical, and one of them used to work in politics, and I was like, look, if I was trying to set Trump up to lose, or trying to set Trump up to make him look crazy, you know what I'd do? I'd have him get on stage and start openly talking about the bribes that he's taken. And then I would have him solicit new bribes. And I would do it on the microphone. And the craziest thing about what I just said is, 1, this all happens in this video. And 2, not a single one of these MAGA is going to give a fuck. We get the last laughter at you because Trump is still your president. You got to stay on topic, Joey Ganoa. You now, sir, are muted. Mods, Joey Ganoa is muted for not staying on topic. Joey, you can come back when you can learn to follow the rules. You are not a toddler. You are not an elementary school child. You can stay on topic, or you can get the fuck out. Abe Seafood called me a dumbass and did raffle maffalo. You got to go too. You're deported. 5 minutes for using raffle maffle schlaffalo. You're a grown up. Use real words.
Miriam Adelson, do you want to come up, Miriam? Come up here, Miriam.
Okay, so he brings up Miriam Adelson. Not sure why. Just, I guess he wants to show people how much, I guess, I don't know. Is she a big deal? So is this important to get her endorsement?
Miriam.
Why is Adam McFarland still here? We got to mute Adam McFarland. Now are you running away? Are you avoiding capture, Adam? Self-deport, or you're getting 10 minutes, Adam. You will self-deport for 5 minutes, or you get 10 minutes of muting. How dare you evade our brave ICE agents who are hunting you down? How dare you?
Gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one.
She gave us $250 million directly or indirectly. That's a crime. That's a crime. If he says they're giving it to us directly or indirectly, that means he's admitting that the PACs work for him. So that would be illegal too. This is a crime that he just admitted to. And then she's going to come up now and she's going to tell everybody what she got for that bribe.
When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And
yeah, she gave me money, so she gets special privileges, he said. Oh, scurvy dog, you whiny bitch. When you come to this country, you do not complain. You assimilate and you celebrate. Scurvy dog 77, you are now muted for 5 minutes. Assimilate, follow the rules, stay on topic. Do not instruct us how to run our show. You are deported.
Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be. Okay? Hello, darling. Come in. Incredible woman.
Yeah.
With a great husband, a man that loved Israel.
Well, Mr. President, when you were in the Israeli parliament and you gave a speech and you saw me from far away, you called, and at that time I came with a scooter to the parliament just to hear you. I wanted to hear you alive. And you
Oh. Oh.
say, Miriam Adelson, and I stood for a second, but it was so painful, so I sat. Then you screamed, Miriam, stand up! And I wish you would have known, but I stood up and heard all your compliment, and thank you very much.
I saw you back there standing.
Yeah, you saw me.
She stood
Thank
up
you.
brave.
He didn't understand her story, just so we're clear here. He either didn't listen or he's just too fucking stupid. It's one of those two things. This is an idiot. This is a dumb guy up here. And everybody, this is just like everybody worshiping him. He's not saying anything. He's saying dumb things and people are laughing at it. I've given this story a million times, but when I was Mormon, anytime somebody that was like a member of the, like a high up leader in the church, if they looked even remotely human at any point, everybody would laugh hysterically like it was the greatest thing they've ever seen. He shows any semblance of being a human and the crowd goes wild. They're like, oh my God, did you see that? He said that he saw her standing. Standing ovation.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said...
Who was that? You met with who? Alan Dershowitz? That's not a great name right now. Epstein's lawyer? The guy in all the pictures with Epstein? The guy in the Epstein files? Why is she communicating with Alan Dershowitz? This isn't helping. Trump brings her up like, she gave me $250 million, so she gets special privileges to use the microphone here. What do you want to say, ma'am? I'd like to point out that Alan Dershowitz and I have been talking, and we have a plan.
He said the legal thing about it, 4 more years, and I said, Alan, I agree with you. So,
Oh, and me and Dersh decided we figured out a way for you to unconstitutionally hang on to your job and be president for 4 more years. Me and the Epstein guy, we were talking. He's here. Alan Dershowitz was here in the room with them. He had to leave a little early. He's buds with Trump. The Epstein guy and Miriam Adelson, who bribed him with $250 million, are talking now openly about convincing him to run for an unconstitutional 3rd term. But that's going to be costly. Thank God Donald Trump wouldn't solicit a bribe right in front of us after she said that.
we can do it. Think about it.
Alan's
and I
here
would be,
someplace. Where's Alan?
Alan is here? Oh, he had a flight. Alan is here? Think about it.
Thank you.
Maybe I will be the first one who told me, or second. Yeah.
She said, think about it. I'll give you another 250. But
I will.
Whoops. Whoops. Seth, deported. You don't get to come to our country and complain, you whiny little bitch. Back of the line with you. That's a 5-minute ban for Seth Fasari. We are a country that does not allow whiny bitches. You can come in here and you can criticize what we say, but you don't get to come in and be whiny bitches. And I am the arbiter of all of that. I use my executive orders to deport you.
But her husband, Sheldon, was an amazing guy, and he'd come up to the office, and there was nobody more aggressive than Sheldon. I think I spent more time with him and you, because you usually came up together, but he'd call and say, can I come over, please? I say, Sheldon, I'm president of the United States. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's like maybe tomorrow. How about tomorrow? No, please, just for a little while. And he'd always say,
Ron's easy fix. This is Donald Trump, not Joe Biden. Wrong era, wrong live, deported. We don't do whataboutism here. We don't do bitch shit here. You stay on topic or you leave. Ron's easy fix. That's about your 80th comment about Joe Biden. So that is a 5-minute mute from you. You ungrateful bitch. You got to go.
10 minutes. It turned out to be about an hour and a half, right? And what he did is he fought for Israel. That's all he really fought for. He just wanted to take care of Israel. So he was a great guy. He was a fan.
Yeah, he just wanted to spend all my time talking about Israel, but he gave me $250 million, and so I just let him come in whenever he wants. That's the advice I would give Donald Trump if I was like, hey, do you want everybody to know that you are completely bought and paid for? I do. How could I do that? Go on and brag about taking bribes and then solicit another bribe, and then tell them a story about how much access you got because of your bribes and how you then went and defended a country that they love because of all the bribes that you gave them. Looks like Rasputin, you too are now, you guys know, you can get rid of Rasputin. No whiny bitches in this country. Sorry, you got to go.
Fantastic, man, and he loved you so much he couldn't see straight. So good. Thank you, darling. Be careful.
Be careful. That's a big checkbook you don't want to lose if she takes a tumble down those stairs. That's why I was saying, like, are they fucking with us? Are they just like trying to run them out? This is not impossible. It is not impossible. It is not implausible to say that the Epstein files come out on the 19th. If you want to make it look like you needed to step down, perhaps you spend the days before the Epstein files come out and say a bunch of crazy shit and try and drag us into a war. And just say, like, yeah, we're going to war for oil. That's how I'd play it. I don't know if it works for MAGA. It's a pretty dumb electorate. I saw last night after I got off the live, I don't remember whose live it was, but I legitimately heard somebody said, we don't need to fact check. We don't need to debate. We don't need to research. We have Donald Trump. That's what they said. We don't allow trolls in this country. Tech tyranny. Now you are an admitted criminal. Trolling is a crime in this live. So now tech tyranny, you are also deported. Sorry. No trolls. You admitted to the crime, too. No due process for you. All right. This was brilliant, actually, by Jessica Tarloff on Fox News this evening. Shout out Fox News for being such a terrific provider of news.
Well, they've been telling us since they got elected. I mean, Donald Trump, and I understand you campaign in this way where you say, I'm going to fix everything on day one. But we're coming up on a full year of Donald Trump's policy.
It has been a little more than a day. Reported. Oh, SCR reported us. SCR, you are now banned forever. SCR 454, that is a perma ban. Get out of our country. You are on the do not enter list forever. If you come into this country, my ICE agent moderators are authorized to remove you on site. Deported, you whiny bitch.
And the American public is not feeling better about their economic situation. They're, in fact, feeling worse. And I do give credit to VP Vance. I think that he is delivering the affordability message much better than President Trump. So last week, President Trump says you only need a couple of pencils and 2 dolls. And at least VP Vance had the Rome wasn't built in a day, you know.
This is what happened last week. Trump said, shut the fuck up, buy less stuff. JD Vance said, hey, I know things are bad, but it'll get better eventually, and that's what they're going with. JD Vance is being praised now for saying, I know it sucks now, but it's going to get better. And Trump's rhetoric is just buy less shit, shut the fuck up. Imagine being MAGA today. This is going really well. This is what we voted for. This is terrific. The amount, the level of stupidity it now requires to be MAGA, it's like that. Whatever the IQ level was, it's 20 points lower than it was in November. You can't. I can't. It's hard for me to believe human beings that can read are still supporting this guy. It's hard. It's hard for me to believe that.
Motto, but people are sick of waiting in terms of the jobs since Liberation Day, which is when most people look at as when things kind of start taking a turn for the worse. We've only added 17,000 jobs on a monthly basis. There are over 700,000 Americans who are unemployed today versus this time last year.
Tony, you're not getting deported. I think I can change you. You're welcome here, Tony Michael. Stick around, bud. At least for now. We can change you.
That's a huge number. Unemployment for young Americans is over 10%. If you took out healthcare sector hiring, would be negative completely. So, you know, they're trying to reverse the tariffs. I appreciate that. They made a mistake. They're not admitting that they made a mistake in it, but trying to go backwards. But over 70% say Donald Trump is not focused.
Russell, just a warning here. We don't do whataboutisms, okay? So if you want to explain why you think things are going well in this Trump administration, that's fine. Leave out the whataboutisms. If your 401k went down during the Biden administration, you had a dumb 401k manager, because if you had your 401k through the entire time, it went up. So I'm not sure what you're saying there. You may want to go check that. You may want to have a little chat with your financial planner, because if it went down, he's probably stealing from you.
The president would say that they've brought.
All right. Great stuff by Tarlov there. Let's leave the what ifs. Yeah, I like that. What ifs are silly. Whataboutisms. I'll probably do some what ifs. We'll see. All right. Trump had multiple judges going through the, not nomination, the vetting process. We'll call this the vetting process here. I didn't get all their names. I don't even remember. But Senator Blumenthal asked them a simple question that all of us can answer. And I just want to see how the chat can do. This is actually going to help us with deportations. Chat, I would just put yes if you believe that the Capitol was attacked on January 6th, and put no if you don't believe that. Nothing else. No other strings attached. Not who did it, why they did it. Do you believe it was attacked? If you believe it was the FBI, your answer is still yes here. If you believe it was staged, your answer is still yes here. Okay, that's overwhelmingly yes. And like one person saying no, but I don't believe the people that are saying no. Okay, for those that are saying no, if I showed you a video of it, would you change your mind? Now I want to see, we're going to show video. This is going to help with deportations. So now I'm going to show you a video of January 6th, and then I'm going to ask the question again here. And again, the question is, was there an attack on the Capitol? Not who did it, not who's responsible. Even if you think the government did it, your answer, once again, will still be yes. Get me? All right, let me see if I can find a video. Where's Twitter's? Wow, Twitter really hides this shit. That's crazy. Let me just go to YouTube.
Process and really we're left with no alternative.
Sorry, how did that autoplay? All right, we'll do this.
January 6th is a day our own correspondents covered and lived through, and one that over the past...
USA!
1 year ago today, Trump supporters from across the country gathered in the nation's capital to protest Congress's certification.
All right, we're going to get up to this part.
So from the Capitol were first breached by a group of protesters. Capitol Hill police retreated a little bit more. Then hundreds more protesters started to stream up this walkway in front of the Capitol. It is a remarkable scene.
On the West Front, the mob tore down scaffolding, battled their way through the last line of police defense, and broke...
Guys, remember, please don't get deported early. The only question I'm asking you right now is if the Capitol was attacked. If you are talking about whose fault it is, you are going to get deported, because we have to help you learn how to stay on topic here. Most people in this country have been completely brainwashed by our political system to watch a video like this and start talking about whose fault it was. I'm just asking you to watch and tell me if it was real. That's all we're doing right now. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about, it was the Democrats, it was the FBI. Just watch it. That's all you're doing right now. Otherwise, we get deported.
Into the Capitol building itself. NewsHour congressional correspondent Lisa Déjà was inside the building reporting live.
I forgot how stupid those people are. Just screaming USA. What a weird thing to do. What a fucking weird thing to do. Okay, we're going to do this again. I guess I could go back and show you with police. I don't know if they have any of the violent stuff on here. Let's see. Here's some test. Oh, there you go. Here's some testimony and body cam.
By more than 50-1, attacked, dragged,
police
and beat
body
police
cam
officers,
there.
crushing them underfoot and spraying them with chemicals.
They began to beat me
with their fists.
All right, so we're going to do this again. Do you believe that the Capitol was attacked on January 6th? Again, I'm not asking you who did it. Yes, if you believed it was attacked on January 6th. No, if you don't. Okay, this is looking better. This is looking unanimous. Justin Thompson is deported. Sorry, Justin. You are obviously an underground YouTube terrorist, so we're kicking you out of our country. Blazin is gone. Sco79 is also gone. Christopher Oland is gone. Any knows that you see those people are being deported? Assimilate. We told you what to do. But as easy as that question is to answer for most sane people, you're probably not surprised to know that Trump-nominated judges can't answer that question.
Capitol attacked on January 6, 2021.
And again, Senator, as a sitting judge under Rule 2 of the Missouri Rules of Judicial Ethics, I believe that there are cases pending in front of courts. And so due to pending or impending litigation, I cannot comment on anything of political controversy.
I'm not asking you about a specific individual. Was the Capitol attacked?
And again, I do believe that there are cases currently in front of courts. And so as a sitting judge.
Danielle said, RTP conservatives can't read. Reading is too woke. 4 months to talk about being a member. Thank you. Just a reminder, guys, we are crowd-funded, so if you can help us knock out that gift goal by the end of the live, that'd be great. Also, we have paid memberships, and this coming Monday, we'll be watching Dope Sick. 2 more episodes of Dope Sick on Monday. You can do that with us in the Discord. Just got to be a paid member either on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok. Ben Marola said, I read that one. Check over here while this plays.
Under Rule 2, I cannot answer.
Mr. Lee?
Same answer, and I would add that as an employee of the Department of Justice, I would refer to the Department of Justice's positions and briefs.
Mr. Olson?
Senator, the January 6 events are a matter of...
We tried to crowdfund your nuts, and we lost $200. I don't even know how that happened. Apparently, a lot of people are not into that.
Of public controversy and debate on how to characterize those, and I think to wade into that robust public...
Tell me what your characterization is of those events.
Well, individuals entered the Capitol, and some of them were charged, and there were cases that arose as a result of those events.
So you agree that the Capitol was attacked?
Well, Senator, the qualitative characterization, I think, of what happened and how it's been referred to by various individuals is debated, and I think to weigh in on that would be improper.
Why can't any of your nominees say this? Why can't any of them just say it? Yeah, we love this. Our entire party's cowards. We voted for this. Even this, they're just looking. This is so pathetic. Can you guys tell the truth? We're not allowed to. Donald gets mad at us if we tell the truth. Leanne said, keep up the deportations and detentions. Thank you. Haley said, yell at all those MAGAs. Double daddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are double daddy yelling tonight. Carol said, we love Spicy J. Thank you. And I think I got that.
Well, I am incredulous. I am totally disbelieving that nominees for the federal district court will not answer purely factual questions just because you are in fear of what? If you are so much in fear of answering these questions, how will you have the courage to be a fair and impartial judge who follows the law without fear or favor? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's a loud silence. That is a loud silence. Thank you, Amy Lynn, for all the gifted subs. Appreciate it. Not one of them could just say something that we all know is true. All right. So keep going. Here's what Tucker Carlson is saying tonight's address is going to be. And that, Jenna, you said it was 7 my time? It was 9 Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Here's what Tucker says is going to happen tonight.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs, the one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
No, we're live now, and then
Okay.
it'll be posted immediately. So
So
now,
my sense is, I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be.
Yeah, he does technically need approval from Congress to declare war, unless it was something related to an already something that had already been authorized. So Congress did try and authorize Trump today, and it failed. As far as the last I heard, it failed. That was at like 1 o'clock. They could have voted again, and I don't know, but it was about 1 o'clock.
He announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9 o'clock by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs, the one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
No, we're live now.
All right, got it. Sorry, I didn't realize that it started over. That's a guy who probably knows. And the way that other people in Congress are going out tonight and talking about this, and the way that it's being covered on CNN, on Fox, everybody thinks that's what's about to happen. CNN is even doing that. Like, this is gross. I want to explain real quick what we have here. This is CNN with Maria Corina Machado. She is the opposition leader against Maduro. And what we are doing right now is we're bringing on the opposition to Maduro, who, we don't know her. We don't know her intention, but what we are doing, no matter, whatever you could think she's great, you can think she sucks. We are choosing to side with the opposition and work with members of the government inside of Venezuela to overthrow their government. This is a regime change. If they're all right, if that's what Trump announces tonight, this is a regime change war. This is a rerun. And my concern all along with MAGA has been is that they don't have principles, that there are no principles among them, because I know that all of these people were coming onto our lives and saying, no new wars, no regime change wars. You accused us of running Tulsi out because she didn't want to do regime change wars, and that's why she's MAGA, and here we are doing a regime change war. They do not have principles. Their principles are Donald Trump. But again, we've done this. In 2003, when we decided that we were going to invade Iraq, CNN, CBS, I said this was CNN earlier, sorry, it's CBS, MSNBC, Fox News, they'd bring on Netanyahu, they'd bring on people from the Middle East all the time to talk about how important it was that the United States step in and fight against Saddam Hussein for democracy. Bush and Cheney were at least I don't know, I want to say good enough at it, but they at least had the sense not to just openly say we're doing this to take their resources. At least they did. This administration is yeah, we're going to go take their resources. We're just going to go topple somebody in a country, install a new leadership, and then we're going to make a fortune off of this. So in 2003, we worked with the Kurdish troops in Iraq. They were in northern Iraq. And they cooperated with our special forces and our government, and they helped us defeat the Iraqi government forces in that region. Then we embedded members of the CIA and special forces with the Iraqi military leaders. We either persuaded them to surrender and join us, or we put them in jail, and eventually, relatively quickly, we killed Saddam Hussein. But that wasn't the whole story. The story, the stuff that everybody got in trouble for, the reason that you guys all said you hated Dick Cheney was what happened after that. It was Dick Cheney and his buddies, the lobbyists, who he gave contracts to, and he allowed them to go in and rebuild Iraq and create business relationships and profit off of the war and the decapitation of their leadership that we had just performed. And that's what Donald Trump's doing. He's openly telling you, I'm going to Venezuela. We used to have business deals in Venezuela. They won't do oil with us anymore. And so we're just going to go take it. And this side of the government is friendly to us. So we're going to wipe out, we're going to kill their competition. And then we are going to install them as leaders, and their new leaders are going to give us access to oil. And we need that access to oil because we've got a bunch of refineries in California and then along the Gulf Coast that no longer are processing enough oil. Oil's collapsing right now. And we don't have the oil that we need, that heavy oil that we need to go through the refining process. So we need their oil to keep Donald Trump's boosters alive. That's why we're going to war. That's why we're pretending it's about. He even did weapons of mass destruction. He even used the same fucking thing. Like, we all know Saddam didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They never proved that he had weapons of mass destruction. Bush has repeatedly said like, that was a mistake. We were wrong. They didn't have them. They're just doing a replay. That's how dumb MAGA is. They're doing the exact fucking script, except for they're calling cocaine a weapon of mass destruction. And you guys are so subservient that you're like, yeah, let's do it. This is good. This is a good idea that we're doing here. We're not the good guys. And ironically, like, watch your religious friends this week. Watch them. They're not going to be talking about turning the other cheek. They're going to be with Pete Hegseth, like, we need maximum lethality. We must murder. We will destroy the enemy. They're not the enemy. Who else is capable of running the country? So many people are capable of running the country. Don't ask dumb questions. I don't want to deport you again. Pay attention to what we're saying, Freedom Rider. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions to distract here. If you have a question about what she said, about what we're talking about, great. I want to know why you guys don't mind, and we'll address you. We'll do a little practice here, Freedom Rider. Why does it bother you? I should say that. Does it bother you that Donald Trump is advocating a regime change war? We'll try that. You know what I said. Okay, well, then you got to go. If you're not here for answers, sorry. That's the rule here. We want you guys, we want opposition to be here, and we want you to engage honestly, but you are not the type of immigrant we're looking for, a Freedom Rider, so you are deported. Somebody get rid of Freedom Rider, he can go find somewhere else to troll. Thank you, Freedom Rider. Good try. All right, here we go.
And what is going on? Because we are seeing here in the U.S. an increase in the pressure campaign, more sanctions on Venezuelan individuals and vessels. We saw an armed seizure of a vessel carrying oil out of Venezuela. Selling oil on the black market is really important money for the Maduro regime. Do you endorse this idea of more seizures and possibly even a blockade?
Look, I absolutely support President Trump's strategy.
This is the person who will be in power. I think it's sick that CBS is doing this. Welcome to Barry Weiss's CBS. This person will get power if the United States comes in and kills Maduro or gets rid of Maduro. This is what we're mainstreaming CBS now? You brought this person on to sell the American public on a war. And the other reason that we need a war is because the economy's fucked. And Donald Trump desperately needs a distraction. And the Epstein files are about to drop. And no matter what, even if everything we know about Donald Trump's existence inside those Epstein files, the stuff that we actually know already, even if nothing else ever comes out, that was a 50-year-old man that owned a teen pageant and he ran around with known sex criminals, and they collected young women, and Donald would walk in on them when they were changing. That enough. His proximity to Epstein, him knowing that Epstein liked younger girls, and then bringing him around his own clientele at his own events, that's enough for me to say this guy's a creep. Which it also means that I don't think that there's anything in those files that would make any of you change your mind. And I think that the reason that most MAGA, and you should challenge your friends on this, you should really ask them questions about supporting this war. We did it last night for 3 hours, and it became painfully obvious at the end of that nobody in MAGA knows why the fuck we're doing this, and they can't justify it with any law. All they can say is, drugs bad, so we can kill. But I want to know from all of these people why you're pretending that this isn't insane, why you're pretending this isn't happening. I think you want this to happen because I think you don't want to talk about the other stuff. I think you want to do anything but talk about the economy. You want to do anything but talk about the jobs numbers. You want to do anything but talk about the fact that a bunch of Americans are about to be fucked with healthcare. Anything at all to distract from the fact that this guy said he would change everything on day one, and literally everything has gotten worse. Not one goddamn thing in this country that I can think of has gotten better, other than you guys feel better. Our guy's the president. That makes me happy. But this is crazy that we're bringing in the opposition, the person who stands to benefit. No pushback here. No, like, hey, what's your motive here? Why are you advocating for this? What do you get out of this? What has the president promised you? Is there a way that we can do this without military? If you say no, why? Why can't we do it without the military? But nope, they just bring her on and let her peddle like America's going to save us. And this works for a lot of Americans. And it's being mainlined onto CBS. I don't think that this is going to break Donald Trump. I honestly think that most Americans don't give a fuck, and they kind of like when we go to war. I don't think that this, I actually think that this is his best bet. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. But I think most people are going to watch this, and they're going to be like, oh, this nice woman said that things are really bad, so I guess we can go in and kill them. And that's it. That's all the thought they'll give it.
And we, the Venezuelan people, are very grateful to him and to his administration, because I believe he is a champion of freedom.
Sky Fox, maybe Trump wants Venezuela so he can transition to the move to South America and drink the Kool-Aid part of the cult journey. There's a history of people like Donald Trump going to Argentina for sure. You guys should check that out. Look up famous world leaders who suddenly went to Argentina. You'll find a lot of similarities between Donald Trump and those people. A Proud Atheist said, check out some more news 2-part vid on Bush. Will you send that to me? I don't know if I've seen that or not.
In this hemisphere. And that's why, and I say this from Oslo right now, I had dedicated this award to him, because I think that he finally has put Venezuela in where it should be in terms of a priority for the United States national security. And
why? At most, the amount of people in this country that you could link to Venezuela that are dying is about 1,100. And that's at most. That's if 100% of the white powder that they're bringing in is actually coming in from Venezuela. If 100% of all the white powder that we got that killed people, if all of that came in from Venezuela, it's about 1,100 people a year. And this is something that, like, it's not a priority for this administration. Like, we're not going after the white powder that often. It's not one that is terribly dangerous. Venezuela has absolutely nothing to do with fentanyl. We're doing this shit again. We're lying about a country and the amount of threat they are to us so that we can invade them, hand off infrastructure projects and oil projects to our friends, the donors, and try and hide a shitty economy. Hey, you guys want to guess like how things were looking before 2001? We were basically in the same kind of crunch here. Uh-oh, we're out of money. And Bush cut a bunch of taxes for the rich people, and it didn't do what it was supposed to. So we were seeing rising inflation, rising unemployment. And then, let's go to Iraq. And then Bush got to live off that for a long time. His approval rating was like 90%. But Bush had 9/11. Like there was an event there that we could point to. What is MAGA going to point to here? There are 1,100 people a year in this country that die from that drug. It's mostly brought in by Americans. We can't trace it to Venezuela, but that's why we're in there murdering Venezuelans.
We do support these actions because, Margaret, we are facing not a conventional dictatorship. This is a very complex criminal structure that has turned Venezuela into a safe haven of international crime and terrorist activities, starting with Russia, Iran, Cuba, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Colombian guerrilla, the drug cartels operating freely and directed.
I don't know if we knew in the 80s where the drogas were coming from. I don't think many of us knew that the CIA was bringing in the drugs. I don't know if that's true.
Partnership with Maduro and his regime, and as every criminal structure suffers is when the inflows from their criminal activities are cut, and this, in the case of the Maduro regime, comes from the oil black market, the drug trafficking, gold smuggling, arms smuggling, even human smuggling and trafficking.
Yeah, this is just so obvious that it's a transaction. That Trump is going to scratch the opposition's back there, and they're going to give him a bunch of contracts. There's no war here. Trump has been trying to get Maduro forever. I saw today, in fact, I don't think I put it on the outline, but I'll show you this clip here. They can't keep anything straight. Now they're just openly contradicting themselves because they're moving too fast, and there doesn't seem to be a plan. Is this the one? Yeah, here's Rick Scott talking about Maduro and why it's okay to, it's why we can do this.
All right, he is not, it's not regime change. He's not the president of Venezuela. He stole the last election. He lost it. It was proven he lost the last election. He's an
So those are claims. I've looked this up. Now, Republicans do this thing where they think that their feelings are facts and they present their feelings as facts, but this is not a fact. It is disputed. There certainly are some anomalies. But it is not a fact. He's saying it's a fact, but it's not. But let me rewind.
It was proven he lost the last election. He's an indicted drug trafficker.
Oh, Seth got back. Guys, deport Seth for 24 hours. Sorry, Seth. I don't know how you got through. We're going to have to bulk up the border. Build the wall. Build the wall. Seth's got to get out of here.
He needs to be imprisoned in the United States. And what the president is doing exactly what he should be doing. Stopping these drugs from killing my kids and my grandkids.
Wait a minute.
Right?
Hold on
he
just
is
1 second.
Drug trafficker. He needs to be imprisoned in the United States. Drug trafficker. He needs to be imprisoned in the United States.
What do we do with drug traffickers?
Drug trafficker. He needs to be imprisoned in the United States.
Prison? Oh, you mean we don't blow them up in the water? Whoops. So the leaders go to prison. The people on the boats get murdered? That's weird. Why was Hernandez in prison? Why? He was a drug trafficker. Oh, if you're a drug trafficker from another country, do you have due process? Oh, you do. Uh-oh. Play this in front of the Supreme Court over and over.
Indicted drug trafficker. He needs to be imprisoned in the United States.
Whoops. Do you see how MAGA, if any of you are still here, do you see how everything they tell you is a lie and they just pick and choose when the law applies and when it doesn't apply? Why don't we just drone strike him? Why are we advocating that he be put in prison? Why did Hernandez go to prison? Why didn't we just drone strike Hernandez? It's a fair question, too. Why would we have the right to jail Maduro? I don't know. I don't think the evidence has proven that Maduro is a drug trafficking narco terrorist. They've designated him that way, and they said that, they all say this, they say he's indicted. Well, Trump was indicted for a lot of things, and you didn't think he was a criminal. Suddenly indictments now mean you're guilty? It is alarming how easy it is for Republicans to just change their principles and not have a single one of their voters notice. Not a single one of you ever picked that shit up. Jail for, I don't know, being a drug trafficker? That's what they say. This is, when I say, like, I don't know, like, if they're trying to run Trump out, they are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. There is no rhyme or reason to their messaging. They are contradicting each other at every turn. But at least they got Fetterman. You guys might be surprised to know that Zionist Fetterman also thinks it's okay to murder people without due process.
Drugs, it's about oil. And they are a...
Tony Tigris, you are muted for 5 minutes. Stay on topic, please. Your insults, if you're going to insult me, they have to be tied into the video that we're watching. Actually, that one's all right. Narco-terrorist, that's fine. There's your one warning. I take it back, Tony. You can stay.
The whole regime, the whole country is a foreign terror organization, a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out until they return what they stole.
What did they steal? Do we have Tony? While you're here, would you mind, Tony, telling me what they stole? What did Venezuela steal? Any Republicans here? I honestly don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Does anybody know what? It maybe doesn't have to be MAGA. Can anybody tell me what the fuck he's talking about that they stole here? They'll get Alina Habba. Their election. Oh, they stole. Wait, but they stole it from us? They stole their election from how they would give their election back to us? I just don't get it.
From us. What did they steal? And what do you make of this?
They stole our hearts. Don't cry for me, Venezuela. Stole their drug market. Yeah. The government's like, fuck you. That's our job to load our people up with drugs. That's the CIA's job. How dare you, Maduro, stepping all over an American industry like that? Does anybody know the magical Leo Pleurodon? I don't know what that means. Mineral rights from Guyana because we did R&D there. All right, I don't know about this. Let's look this up. Did Venezuela steal mineral rights? Venezuela. Now, AI overview here, because it's the first time I'm hearing this story. So if AI is missing something, I would hope that you would correct it here. Venezuela did not steal mineral rights from the United States in a direct sense. Rather, the Venezuelan government nationalized the oil industry and related mineral sectors decades ago, leading to an expropriation of assets owned by foreign, including U.S. companies. These actions are a point of contention and the subject of ongoing legal claims. Wait. At the same time, didn't he just sign an executive order saying that like Chinese nationals can't own farms? So we're just going to take those from Chinese nationals, but at other countries that have done it to us, we're going to go to war with. All right. That's pretty American. That's about as American as it gets. We make all our own rules. We could do whatever the fuck we want. Dumbass magus. Yeah, we can. This is really going to be good for us. Oh, for anybody who's just getting in, and we don't do Democrats here. And Matt Hoffman, you have to stay on topic. If you're going to insult us, you have to do it on topic with the video. So that's your one warning. Otherwise, we deport you. Do not come in and poison the blood of this country. It looks like to me that they're not sending their best. And some would say that it looks like they're releasing their prisons right into our chat. Their asylums. They're not sending their best. I know that. It's pretty rough in here. But Matt, that's the one warning. Next time you insult me, it needs to be on topic. Thank you.
Makes it that Iran is involved on that, and Russia is involved on that, and China as well too. I mean, a lot of these things. I mean, that's sanctioned oil right now, and those are the kinds of funds that support regions like in Iran as well too. And now,
so we can kill people because we don't want Iran to do trade. That's what. Who the fuck paid Fetterman? I don't know. I mean, how much do you have to pay somebody to say something that dumb? Well, we saw. What did they do? Why didn't we blow up the tanker? Why did we use the Coast Guard and board the tanker and seize the tanker? Why didn't we just blow it up? Okay, Virgil, let me know. Virgil, where do we get the authority to blow up these boats? Where's Trump getting this authority? We did this debate for MAGA for 3 hours. I bet you don't know what Trump is saying, where they're getting the authority from, but where do they get that authority to just blow up boats in international waters? I'm not asking for your fucking opinions here. Your opinions don't fucking matter when it comes to the law. He can control the military. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can tell the military to do whatever he wants. That's again, see, this is the problem with you MAGAs. Have you ever thought about any of this? Joe, all right, MAGA, now we got to do, we're going to have to do some mass deportations here. MAGA, I'm asking you to cite a source of where Donald Trump gets that authority. If you are not citing me a part of the Constitution or U.S. code, if you just share your opinion right now of where he gets that authority, you are getting a 2-minute mute. Okay? You have to answer real questions, and you have to think about shit. We have to reprogram your brains so that you don't just knee-jerk react and defend to everything Donald Trump does. Drug and Law Enforcement Act of 1986. Thank you, Tony Tigris. Let's pull this up. Drug Law Enforcement Act of, it was 86? All right, terrific. The Drug Enforcement Act of 1986 likely refers to an Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986, a landmark U.S. law that intensified the war on drugs by introducing mandatory minimum sentences, strengthening penalties for drug offenses, shifting supervised release from rehab to punishment, and expanding federal efforts against drug trafficking, also bringing in the Federal Analog Act. We can pull this up here. Let's see if there's a spot in here we can find of where they authorized the president to blow up boats. Do you know which section that's in, Tony? What section would I look at here? We can. If I can search like international waters, maybe over here. Do you have the section there? International cooperation, drug interdiction. Amends the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 to permit any U.S. officer or employee to assist any foreign law enforcement officers in making arrests or to take direct action in an arrest action in a foreign country to protect the... Okay, so that's arrests. Customs enforcement here. Do you have the section there, Tony, that we could point to? I appreciate you playing along by the rules, by the way, Tony. Tony's good MAGA today. Requires the master of any vessel arriving at any U.S. or Virgin Island port, so that wouldn't apply because they're not arriving at ports. Requires the pilot of any aircraft arriving in the United States. No, they didn't arrive here. Imposes penalties for violations of arrival. No, they didn't arrive here. Sets forth reporting requirements for individuals arriving. They didn't arrive. Repeals the current penalties for failure to report or file a manifest upon arrival. Again, that's arrival. Anything, Tony? Did I miss it? I'm scrolling up. Do we have a section? In the Constitution, it is a given right of the president to move and deploy military assets. No, it isn't. We're not talking about moving or deploying military assets, my friend. We're talking about murder. When is the president allowed to murder people? Kill them. We'll say kill, because murder, I guess, is against the law. Maritime. Wait, is it not this one, Tony Tigris? Are you switching now? Have you decided now that this no longer applies? Are you just guessing over here? Let's look up, or are you saying that it's maritime in here? All right, Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Prosecution Improvement Acts of 1986. Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Prosecution Improvements makes it unlawful for any person on board a vessel of the United States or on board a vessel subject to the jurisdiction of the United States to manufacture or distribute or possess with intent to manufacture or distribute a controlled substance. Okay, so it's illegal to possess with intent to distribute. Okay, what are the repercussions if you're caught? So now we're close. Now we've got the drugs, and what are the repercussions? Subjects, any property used to commit such laws, and forfeiture, amends the Controlled Substances Act to modify the threshold quantity. Here it is. Increases the maximum sentence to 20 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $2 million, life imprisonment and $4 million for subsequent offenses for such violations. Provides a fine of $5 million, $10 million for subsequent offenses. Provides a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years imprisonment, life. Increases the fines, grants the court to authority or impose a sentence. Okay, so none of that gives the president the authority to kill somebody either. All right, so we were close. What do we think there, Tony? Do you think that this gave him the authority? Let's be honest. I'm letting you guys kind of control where we're going here. I don't see anything there where it says that. In fact, it seems like what they're saying is that these matters are to be settled in court. Maritime law is open hunting season. That's fucking dumb. You see, you have to be, we have to deport you. You've got to go back and educate yourself and assimilate. Because remember, I told you that we don't care about your fucking opinions. You have to cite sources here, Chef Joseph Knowles. So a 2-minute deportation for you. Next time when you come back, remember, we're not looking for just your opinion. International law requires all vessels in international waters must be properly identified or be subject to boarding and search. Okay, boarding and search. I agree, Tony, but did we board or search those boats, or did we blow them up? Speedboats are too fast to board and search. That's not true. We've stopped speedboats, those exact types of boats. We boarded and searched them. But even if they're too fast to board and search, Tony, you would have to find somewhere that says if they're too fast, you can blow them up. So where's that authority coming from, Tony? This is the difference between people who have principles and Republicans. Republicans are searching for some reason to justify that Donald Trump is murdering people in the open waters. We're watching it in real time. I told you at the beginning of this, no matter what happens, they will desperately try and justify this. These good Christian Americans, these good conservative Christian Americans who love Jesus, want any excuse possible to blow up brown people in the ocean. All right, Tony, if you find another source, let me know. We'll move on, though. We tried hard. Back to Fetterman.
Sanctioned oil right now, and those are the kinds of funds that support.
They're just friendly Hellfire missiles. I didn't think about that. They did. They are friendly. You can watch them here. Look how friendly they are.
Regions like in Iran as well too. And now, absolutely, right now, it's not a plan to like a land war and invade Venezuela and that, but seizing those kinds of oil.
Look at this. See how the Coast Guard is boarding the vessel? See how they're not blowing it up? Just showing these two videos, you can see that obviously they don't seem to be following like a set of rules.
Tankers, and it's undeniable that that's oil that's going to support Iran, and those are the kinds of funds that are used, all kinds of illicit things, so terrorism. So for me, it makes a lot of sense, at least by what I've seen.
Yeah, but you're dumb, and we're asking you to cite the Constitution, bud. Fuck John Fetterman. Fuck him. He pulled the wool over our eyes. I think we all wanted a guy in a hoodie in Congress. Can we just be honest about that? He had a good story. We wanted him there. But fuck, we might have overlooked the fact that he's a gut guy. We don't need more gut guys in Congress. We need people who read and assess and know what the law is. Congratulations to me, Charles, for you being here for 10 months. Appreciate it. Ryan said, deport the cucks, please. Thank you. All right. Just a reminder, guys, we are crowd-funded. So if you can help us knock out that gift goal by the end of the live, which we're going to go probably pretty late tonight, Trump is going to speak in about 30 minutes, and then I've got more of the show. But we'll probably I suspect that this will be a late night. I suspect that there's going to be a lot to discuss. Jen's going to absolutely send me something that could potentially really hurt me in the mail. So pray for me. But it's probably going to be a late night. I think this is going to be a very strange speech that we're about to hear. But then, lastly, before Trump makes this announcement, they seem to be, again, going out and getting ahead of this. And here's Trump saying, like, here's what we plan to do with Venezuela.
Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching, but they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back.
It's not yours. Yeah, we had a lease. They decided they didn't want to do business with us anymore. Which, by the way, is every country should have the right to decide whether or not they want to nationalize their resources. Venezuela was having a hard time paying their bills. The profits were being sucked out by American companies. This is a dipshit billionaire who only cares about money. And so he sees that Venezuela has a resource that we could actually go in and steal, and he's just going to steal it.
Well, I think the message this evening is we inherited a mess, and we've done a great job, and we continue to. And our country is going to be stronger than ever before very soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll see. Amy Lynn said our pres lets terrorists go. 5K Taliban? Yeah. No, but it's different when he does it because he does it. That's why. That's why. I do think that there's further implications here. I think this potentially has further... it could further divide us with Russia and China. I think that what they're not telling you is that they're losing. There's three real world powers fighting for dominance right now. It's us and China, and then Russia's kind of hanging back, and they're in the middle of a war. But China's beating our ass. They're absolutely beating our ass. And they've invested in renewable energy, and they're catching us, and they're going to pass us in AI. They're better at auto manufacturing. They actually have a plan for the post-COVID world and the post-Trump tariffs. They've adjusted to Trump's tariffs where we have not. They have found new trade partners where we have not. They're expanding their imports where we are not. Excuse me, their exports. We're losing. They're not going to tell you that. And they're losing because their plan can't win. We can't cut taxes out of this. We can't cut taxes and get our way out of this. We need more money. That's why they've been doing tariffs. They're lying to you and they're telling you that they're not taxing you, but we need a lot of money right now. You could do that in a couple of ways. You could do it like they've proven by taxing people more, which is what they've done with tariffs. But Republicans have this moral opposition to increasing taxes. It's a belief system they have. And so they can't do the right thing because it would hurt their little hearts to see people get taxed. Remember the guy in here earlier that called it terrorism if you tax people. So their solution is going to be, as good Christian conservatives, since we can't tax more, we better go to war. That's what we need to do. We need to go to war. We'll steal other people's resources. And this war is going to be very expensive. And we've already cut taxes on all of the people who are going to go and get these contracts in Venezuela. So it's not like we're going to create jobs from this. It's not like we're going to create a bunch of tax revenue. We're going to give them sweetheart deals over and over and over again. So the people that are already rich are going to get more rich. They're not going to pay for the war. We are. We're paying for the war. We're paying to open up industry for them. They're going to go in there, suck out the resources of Venezuela. They're going to keep most of that profit for themselves. You're not going to get a goddamn thing. They're going to offshore jobs. And we're going to be stuck paying for it, all because you guys are unwilling to admit that Donald Trump is a fucking lunatic. He's a fascist, he's a wannabe dictator, and he's not even in charge. His rich friends are pulling all the strings. They know how to manipulate him, and they're getting him to do whatever they want. He's just a dumbass puppet with a big mouth. They don't have to pay for it. If they go in, if we go into Venezuela and they get these contracts, they're not going to take the blowback from anybody. Like, nobody's going to be upset at them. They're going to all blame Donald Trump. Why the fuck do these companies care? They know he's gone soon anyways. They're using him as a prop, and you guys are celebrating it, pretending that he's in charge. Are we going to lose lives? Are we going to send our people into Venezuela? Are we going to send the military in there, risk their lives for oil? Is it worth it for this country? How many lives are we willing to lose for oil, Republicans? Give me a number, please. How many American lives are you willing to give up for oil? I want you to put the number down, and I want you to write it down at your house. And as soon as we reach that number, I want you to remove your support. Write it down, Republicans. How many lives are you willing to lose? All of them. Thank you, Travis. Travis is willing to sacrifice all of our lives for the oil industry. How many, Republicans? Don't get shy now. How many? What is it? 1,000? 10,000? 20,000? Do I need to play that clip again? Swamp Donkey, do I need to play the clip again where Donald Trump just said that we're going in to get their minerals? Sorry, maybe you missed it. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at your president for saying it. We'll play it again for you, bud.
Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had.
Land and oil rights. I'll take that apology, Swamp Donkey. Swamp Donkey, I'm in a bit of a mood. So Swamp Donkey, you need to apologize or you're getting deported, because we only allow open-minded people here in this country. And if you are not willing to be open-minded and apologize when you do something wrong, you are not assimilating, and we don't want you in this country. So I'm going to need an apology from you real quick. Next one's got to be an apology. Well, and I'll play a little commercial for you conservatives. Like, nobody's as soft as a conservative. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Those conservative men are soft as shit. That's why every time you go to a conservative podcast, it's like, and now to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Your dick can work again. You don't have to scream at women when your dick doesn't work. This'll fix it. Yeah, Tony, Trump is depleting assets of terrorist dictator Maduro. Yeah, he's stealing them. He's stealing them. You're just rephrasing what he's doing. Yes, he's depleting them by going to war. Did we get Swamp Donkey? Any mod, will you watch for Swamp Donkey? And if he doesn't apologize, you can just get rid of him real quick. Sorry, Swamp Donkey, we gotta do it. I can't make new rules for you. I'm gonna need that apology. All right, we're 20 minutes before he's going. Let's go. I want to go to this hearing. Brendan Carr, the FCC commissioner, was in front of the Senate today, and it went about as exactly how all of these goes, except for Brendan Carr is a little bit smarter than some Trump appointees, a little more respected than some Trump appointees. But this will just be more of the same. This administration trying to argue why they get to do things that nobody else has done and why the executive branch should have more power than it currently has.
The FCC, an independent agency.
Senator, thanks for that question. I think that
yes or no is all we need, sir. Yes or no, is it independent?
Well, there's a test for this in the law, in the key portion of that test.
Yes or no, Brendan?
The key portion of that test is...
Okay, I'm going to go to Commissioner Trusty. So just so you know, Brendan, on your website, it just simply says, man, the FCC is independent. This isn't a trick question.
No, he didn't, Tony Tigris. You said Maduro declared war on U.S. using TDA terrorists invading USA with Biden admin blessings. You made all that up, and if you don't cite a source for that in your next comment, you're being deported. We don't allow you to lie here. I'm going to need you. Here's the sources that I'm going to need from you real quick. I'm going to need you showing me a quote from Maduro or a piece of paper or an executive order declaring war on the U.S. Using TDA terrorists to invade the U.S. with the Biden administration blessings. You're going to need a source for all of that, or an apology and saying, you can say, my bad, I will no longer make claims without sources, or you get deported. Let's get back to the FCC commissioner not answering questions.
It simply says, man, the FCC is independent. This isn't a trick question.
Okay, the FCC
is yes or no?
Is not.
Okay.
Is not.
So is your website wrong? Is your website lying?
Possibly. The FCC is not an independent agency.
Okay, can I read this to you? The FCC's mission on the homepage of the FCC, man. An independent U.S. government agency overseen by Congress.
Tony Tigris, you are now being a whiny coward, so now you're deported. You're doing whataboutism. I asked you for a source. I pulled up all your sources. These are my sources. I show my sources. This is called a video. So what I'm talking about right now is what Mr. Lujan is saying to Brendan Carr, and I'm showing you the fucking video of Mr. Lujan saying something to Brendan Carr. This couldn't be any more showing your evidence. So you have to get deported for 1, being a coward, and 2, not citing your sources. 5-minute, take a lap.
Is that factual or is that a lie?
The FCC is not formally an independent agency.
Is this true or is this a lie?
I'm happy to answer your question.
Okay.
The sine qua non of independence is being removable by the president.
Chairman, I have a little bit of time. I'll get back to you.
The FCC is not an independent agency, formally speaking.
Appreciate you.
It just says it on their website. And do you guys think that's a good idea, that the FCC not be an independent agency? That they just, if they're not an independent agency, if they report to the president, then that's essentially saying that the president gets to control the airwaves. Do we think it's a good idea that one person, the president of the United States, whether Democrat or Republican, should be able to control the airwaves? It's not a good idea. None of you would be okay with this if it was Biden. You're only okay with it if it's Trump. I would be against this if it was Joe Biden. I would be against this if it was anybody. You can check my record.
You're saying that and being honest with the American people. Commissioner Trusty?
Senator, thank you for the question. The president is the chief executive vested with all executive power in our government, and FCC commissioners are not. We do not have for-cause removal protections, which means that we aren't independent.
So is your website lying?
I can't speak to the website. I've not seen that.
You all are the commissioners in charge of this place, right? So this stuff has to be approved by one of you.
What they're essentially saying, just so you know, like, because they're speaking in stupid coded Washington language, they're saying because the president can fire them at will, that they therefore are not independent and are under the direction of the president. This is the game. This is the sick game that they're playing. Yeah, D, good. Yeah, see, our audience is way better. This is called unitary executive theory. WD in the chat. What they're saying is because the president can fire them at any time, basically he's always going to be able to fire people until they do exactly what he says. So that's the leap that they're taking. They're saying if the president can fire you at any time, then you don't get to be independent from what the president wants you to do. You act on his under his will. So they are openly telling you that the president is in charge of the FCC. The president is in charge of the airwaves under this theory that they've invented. And the bridge that they try and gap is because the president can fire us, that means that we are under his rule, and whatever he says goes. Republicans aren't going to talk to you about that. They're going to talk to you about how immigrants are ruining your lives. This guy, yeah, thank you. God, good chat. Nathan, PT. Brendan Carr, the guy that is saying this, wrote the chapter in Project 2025 that said, hey, this is what we're going to try and do. We're going to use unitary executive theory, and we're going to make the argument that because the president can fire us, we work for the president. This hasn't been challenged at the Supreme Court. This guy wrote and made up a theory, and then the president of the United States chose him to run the FCC and said, go ahead, let's do your theory. I'm in charge now. But they won't tell you that because they're too busy getting you upset about immigrants. And you fell for it. That's some bitch shit. You guys are whiny. I wish you were a little tougher. The immigrants aren't hurting you. You're just thin-skinned and dumb, and it's a lot easier for you to get upset and rage about immigrants than it is to learn something new. But lucky for you, you came to a place where we learn new things. So write it down. Unitary executive theory. That's when a whole bunch of cucks decide the president gets to tell them what to do always.
If this is lying, then you should just fix it. Let me just say that. That wasn't even my gotcha question. I'm surprised that I burned up 3 minutes talking about this damn thing. Commissioner Gomez?
Yes, and we should be.
I appreciate that. Well, Mr. Chairman, if I could just submit the printout of the homepage.
Want to guess which one of those 3 people was not appointed by Donald Trump? The one person. There's 3 of them. 2 of them get picked by Trump. 1 doesn't. If he fires her, he doesn't get to replace her. The Democrats do. Want to guess which one person wasn't Trump?
That wasn't even my gotcha question. I'm surprised that I burned up 3 minutes talking about this damn thing. Commissioner Gomez?
Yes, and we should be.
Should the FCC be independent, or should the president be able to do whatever the fuck he wants? Republican, the president should do whatever the fuck he wants. Republican, the president should do whatever the fuck he wants. Democrat, no, the president shouldn't be allowed to do whatever he wants. Republicans in the chat, yes, he does. Elections have consequences. Fuck around and find out. He's still your president. You're mad. We know. We know what you're going to say, you scripted cucky bitches. The audacity of Republicans to go out in front of you, other Republicans, and say, hey, guys, we are the party of shut the fuck up and just do whatever Donald Trump tells you. And you're all like, yeah, this is what we voted for. We voted to be cucks. Stand on it then. Just say, I'm a cuck. I don't think for myself. I'm just here rooting on Donald Trump. Donald Trump has replaced America for me. I love Donald Trump. I now think that America is Donald Trump. If you don't like Donald Trump, you must therefore hate America. You guys say it to us all the time. There's 30 people already today. They're like, why do you hate America? Because I'm criticizing Trump. You guys have DC. See, there it is. You mad, bro? There we go. Is it listen, I'm trying to be nice to you. Like, I need you guys to know, the other MAGA, I need you to know that when I predict what MAGA folks are going to say, and then they say it right after, I don't control these accounts. I'm not fucking with you. I'm not doing this to make you look dumb. We don't have like a team of mods making fake MAGA accounts where they're like, hey, make sure when RTP says that they're about to respond this way, they do it. It's just your folks. They just do it. They can't even help it. I say what they're going to do, and they're like, fuck, and they just have to do it. They're like, I know we said I was going to do it, but I have to. I got to defend Donald Trump right now. I have to do it. And then they just do it. I just want the rest of you Republicans, those of you who don't do that, I want you to know we're not doing this. We're not making it up. These are real people. I don't even know how to do that. We're not smart enough for that. We got an older audience here. Most of them are up way past their bedtime. I don't even know what you guys are doing. I'm past my bedtime. None of us, we barely can operate a computer. I break this stream 3 times a week. So I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart that I wish they were better too, but we're not making this up. Betsy said, Dictator Dudes, great show. Thank you. Jackie said, love you. Jackie, I love you also. You are wonderful and beautiful and have a warm, kind spirit. Jumar says, assimilate, bitches. Robert says, Trump's going to be cranky and overtired. He needs to be in bed with a fresh diaper. Thanks for doing this show. Other prediction for tonight. Trump's going to sniff a lot. Trump, when he has to stay up late, tends to get a little bit of a sinus bug. Watch for Trump to sniff a lot tonight, but just know that it's definitely a sinus bug. It's nothing else. It's nothing else. It's just sometimes his nose gets a little runny. It's 6:50 my time. Thank you, 13 Red Roses. I'm in Arizona, so we don't participate in daylight savings. So half the year we're Pacific, half the year we're Mountain. Right now we're Mountain. So, all right, continue.
Appreciate that.
We can end it there. Moving on, back to Brendan Carr. This is Senator Kim from New Jersey. Just saying, like, remember that one time when we confirmed you and you were like, we're independent. I swear, I'm swearing an oath to the Constitution. I won't do illegal things. I won't just do what Trump says. Well, now he's back saying it's required that I do whatever Trump says.
So when you're talking about all power vesting in the president, I mean, I just want to read this a little more, because you're saying not just that it is an independent agency, but you're saying that Congress did not want these technical decisions to be made in a haphazard manner or based on misinformation or short-term political interests. You specifically said it placed the authority outside of the executive branch for a reason. So you were not just stating what was the law at the time. You were stating the benefit that comes with the independence. So I guess I'm just trying to get a sense from you. If you don't think that the FCC is independent, then is President Trump your boss?
President Trump. I think Eminem nailed it when he said the FCC won't let me be or let me be me, so let me see. They tried to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me. He was talking about Brendan Carr. Remember when rappers used to make fun of the FCC, and now MAGA's like, I actually love the FCC. I want them to step on my neck a little bit harder.
And then is President Trump your boss?
President Trump has designated me as chairman of the FCC. I think it comes as no surprise that I'm aligned with President Trump on policy. I think that's why he designated me as chairman. But ultimately,
do you consider him your boss?
Ultimately, President Trump designated me as chairman. I can be fired by the president. The president is.
See, this is actually their argument. Is he your boss? He can fire me. I have to do what he says, or else I get fired. This is unitary executive theory. We use flowery words, but really all it is we're saying we're bitches. We like dictators. We love fascism. We just dress it up with fancy language so that our followers don't realize that we're doing like actual fascism here. These are just patsies. Donald Trump is the king. They're literally saying openly, yeah, I have to do what he says because he can fire me.
The head of the executive branch. The decisions of the commission.
So he's your boss.
Look, the decisions of the commission are going to be based on a vote of the three of us right here. So there are some.
And two of those people are Republican and one is Democrat. And the two Republicans just under oath said, we do what the president says. And all you need is 2 out of 3 votes to win. So this isn't democracy at all because you've already decided that the 2 votes are always going to do what the president says. So no matter what, the president wins here. See the game that they play? Well, you know, it's still it's 2 votes to 3. We don't always agree. Yeah, you do. You do exactly what you're told.
Things that are different about.
And by the way, one more thing. Go back 3 years. Go back 3 years when Project 2025 came out. There were 3 agencies. I said every single time. I said Donald Trump will do this to the FCC, the FEC, and the FTC, and he's doing it. Through the FCC communications, he's going after media, and he's setting up these little sweetheart deals for his friends to own the media. In the FEC, he's allowing conglomerates, his friends, to buy up the contracts for the election machines like Dominion. And for FTC, we've seen what he's doing with trade. He's putting his finger on the pulse of everything. He's taking portions of companies. He's saying, I get 10% of your company. Give me $20 million and I'll give you an exception on trade. We told you he would do this, and you lying motherfuckers, or dumb motherfuckers, you can choose. Project 2025 is not real. You guys just say that to try and scare people. Well, this dude wrote the chapter, and now he's up here citing the chapter that he wrote in Project 2025. Well, yeah, it was real, but it's a good thing. We want everybody to do what Donald Trump wants them to do. Uh-oh, are we getting under your skin? A good reminder for you Republicans here. I can make fun of you. You can't make fun of me without being specific. So generic insults get you muted for 2 minutes. They must be clever, and they must be on topic if you want to insult me. Thank you. If you cannot assimilate to our culture here, you will be deported back to the shithole from whence you came.
And our decisions are based on the facts and the law and the record.
You swore an oath when you came into your job, right? Does the oath have the word president in it?
Senator, again, I'm not tracking this line. What I'm saying is,
I can't. It said I can't track that. What do you mean you can't track that line? Did the oath that you swore say president in it? That's an easy question. No, it doesn't say president. But again, I can't track that. I just got to go back to my prepared talking points that the president can fire me.
Every decision.
Do you remember the oath that you took?
Yeah.
You swear an oath to protect what?
Sir, every single decision
What
we
is
make
it that you're protecting?
in this job, we're based on the facts,
Constitution of the
law,
United
and the
States.
record,
I'm just look,
consistent-
this is not
consistent
a
with the
test here.
Constitution.
I'm just trying to get a sense of how you're trying to operate here. So,
all right. They're standing in front of our Senate, and our Senate, who has oversight, is saying, you need to be independent and we need oversight. And they go, no, we just want to do what Trump says. Those that led into captivity shall go into captivity. Revelation 13:10. Thank you for the Bible study tonight. I don't know what that's in reference to, but terrific. Then here is Senator Kim again. They're supposed to be independent. They should, and Congress has oversight. So if Congress wants to know what they're doing, what they're talking about, they are to report to Congress. And they're openly telling Congress, you created this organization, but you don't get oversight anymore. We're just telling you from now on, no oversight. And that was part of Project 2025, is that the only way you could investigate the FTC or the FEC or the FCC is if Donald Trump said it was okay. And they're all living by that rule. We can only be investigated if Donald says so.
I'd like to be a little bit more direct here. Have you ever had a conversation with the president or senior administration officials about using the FCC to go after critics?
Well, first of all, Senator, I don't get into the specifics of conversations that I have with
Okay, well,
the
let me
president.
reframe it then. Would it be appropriate for the president or senior administration officials to give you direction to pressure media companies?
Look, Senator, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. What I can tell you again
Well, look,
is
the
decisions
easy
by the
answer
commission
is no.
Yeah, I'm not going to just say no. That's so fucking easy. It's like if you are walking down the street and there is a baby in a stroller, would you punch that baby? Well, I'm not going to get into a hypothetical. If you ever ask somebody an obvious answer and they say, I'm not going to do a hypothetical, a good rule of thumb is assume they're going to do that. This should be easy. Should somebody outside of the FCC be able to tell you what to do? I'm not going to get into that. Just say no. No. No, they can't do that. That's an easy one.
The decision of
it's not a hypothetical. It's literally just trying to determine whether or not you are.
Depends. Is the baby here legally? Good point, Dragon Wizard. With MAGA, they do need to know whether or not that's a legal baby. They might punch a baby.
Understanding your job being belonging to the American people. Trump is not your boss. So the American people are your boss.
The basis
and
for
here's
the
just one example I want to give on this.
The basis for the commission
is
decisions are going to be based on a vote of
Let
the
me
three of
finish
us.
my comment here, okay? The reason I raise this is because whether...
Randy Madison, you are being deported here. We have a rule. This is your last warning. We have a rule here that when you come in here and you get in the chat, you stay on topic. Do you see Kamala Harris or Joe Biden on this screen? No, you don't. So that means you can't reference Joe Biden or Kamala Harris right now. Who you can talk about currently is Senator Kim, and you can talk about Brendan Carr, but you can't talk about anybody else or any other administration while we're doing this. You will stay on topic, you will assimilate to our rules, or you will be deported back to the shithole country from whence you came. So there's your one warning. Don't do it again, or we have to get rid of you. We have rules here. Law and order, baby.
or not you had that conversation in the Oval Office or on a phone call, what we do is we see it all out in front. On August 24th, Trump wrote, ABC and NBC fake news. They are simply an arm of the Democratic Party and should, accordingly to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful and an actual threat to our democracy. So this is not hypothetical, like you said. He did intentionally try to pressure you and direct you to be able to use your power in the FCC against media companies that he thought were biased against him. So that's why I just want to say, this is not hypothetical. This is not theoretical. This is real. And I was trying to get a sense.
We would call that an example of something that this man did in real life. Now, if Congress has oversight of Brendan Carr here, which they do, then Brendan Carr needs to speak. He needs to answer questions. Otherwise, we don't live in a representative democracy. This is fascism, where the people we have chosen to represent us can't get answers to questions that they are legally supposed to get answers to. So if you are celebrating Brendan Carr's defiance, you are a fascist. Congratulations. Own it. Stop pretending that you're not. Brendan Carr is required to answer these questions. He's not doing it. If somebody is refusing to follow the Constitution and instead deferring to one man, that fits the definition of fascism very well.
Of whether or not you thought this behavior was appropriate or not. And your failure to be able to directly dictate a line and show that there's integrity in this process concerns me, because before the FCC comes all of these decisions. All of these decisions. And when you cannot tell me directly that Trump is not your boss, that the American people are your boss, I do not trust you that you can make these decisions with the independent mind that is needed and directed by Congress. And with that, I'll yield back.
When we make
Chairman.
decisions at the commission, it's a vote among the three of us. It's a product of the three of our...
How many times? We've heard that 5 times already. Yeah. And 2 of you said that we have to do what the president says. So it's not a vote. You can't vote against the president because you 2 have told us you can't vote against the president. So you're nothing. You are pawns. You're mouthpieces. There's no reason for you to even be there other than to just do what you're told.
Votes, and we all can suggest edits and change items, and you can see for yourself the bases in reasoning for it.
So would it be appropriate then for the president to try and remove and replace any commissioner because he disagrees with the decisions made by that commission?
The president can remove any member of the commission for any reason or no reason
I know
at all.
that, but do you think that's appropriate?
It's up to the president to decide.
Okay, well then we got your answer. With that, I yield back.
Thank you. I do what the president says. Some people, has president started speaking yet? Is that what you were saying when you said it's started? Let's go here.
It hasn't started yet.
Okay, cool.
It hasn't started yet.
Okay. All right. We'll get to some more Brendan Carr then. Just a reminder, guys, we are crowdfunded. Thank you guys so much for joining the dollar trains. We could start another one if we want, says Rory. He said, guys, let's hop on the train. Salient, thank you for the donation as well. Look here. I think I got Betsy's. Great.
He's on.
He's on? Okay.
This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums.
Of course, that's a made-up number, 25 million. They won't ever cite that.
They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels, with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But
words such as that were forbidden? Dude, this guy's lost it.
Not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history.
Yeah, sure.
There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else with a mandate.
You guys tired of the fucking reruns yet? Jesus Christ. He says the same thing word for word every time he steps in front of a microphone, and this bitch still has to read it from a teleprompter.
To take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals.
Not like this administration. Not like me. I'm just taking bribes, giving all the money to the billionaires. I'm literally ripping healthcare away from people right as we speak. But we're not for the insiders here. We're for you, the middle class.
corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent.
Yeah, none of this is real. Or we still have MAGA here? Jesus. How the fuck do you guys take yourselves seriously when you listen to this?
They caused war. They caused mayhem.
Yeah.
They caused a horrible situation.
What war did we cause? Where was the war? Did we miss a war? Now we had wars in the Biden administration? Did I miss that? Did we have a civil war?
All over the globe, but now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined.
We're down, I think, like 10 million jobs. If you just look at the total amount of jobs, he's lost 10 million jobs. Inflation's higher than when he took office. We're in the middle of a gas crisis. Our exports are dying. Our farmers have been decimated. China's beating our ass. There is no place where we are better off now than a year ago. And you have to be an absolute sycophant to sit here and allow yourself to be lied to like this. Everything's going well. This is all going so well. Don't pay attention to everything that's happening in the world. This is all going well.
Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible.
It's also made up, and there's no way that they could tell you with any certainty at all that that is true. How would you even make that statement? You can't tell me that nobody got in. You would have to know that they got in, and then you would have caught them. You can't say that.
Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation.
Yeah, all you needed was a bunch of cucky bitches to sit on their thumbs and let you do whatever the fuck you want. Who knew? All along, we just needed an entire party full of fucking cowards, and then we could just rule by executive order. Who knew?
We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best.
It was, I don't speak about anything if it's not in extremes. We were dying and left for dead, and now we are resurrected beings. Bro, you gotta be so dumb to listen to this and be like, this is good.
Reporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities.
The best.
Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population.
Before Donald Trump went into D.C., we were at historic lows for violent crime. Like if you are my age or around my age or younger, it had never been safer in D.C. than it was when Donald Trump sent in the National Guard, and now he's taking credit for it.
In by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs.
One, he can't read. Why is he calling them great and loving states? The curriculum was always in the hands of the states. He didn't change any of that. I don't again, you just have to be dumb to believe this. The Department of Education never set the curriculum. That was always done on a state level. He didn't change anything. That's a thing that existed before he came into office, and he hasn't changed any of that. It's just that already existed. He's now, I believe, taking credit for the Constitution.
After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close.
Cool. We don't need to be, we were already that. Could we maybe invest in our people?
I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages.
I'm sorry. Did I miss? Is the Middle East peaceful? I just thought shit was still going on. I guess those videos I'm watching from the Middle East every day are not real.
Both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before.
He's outspending them and driving up prices. If they had never seen those levels before and his levels are higher, come on, Republicans, you got to be better than this. Be best. Be best, Republicans. You have to be better than this. You can't just let him say shit like this and keep nodding your head.
I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
So
let's look at the
so fast it feels like they're going up.
Facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring.
All of those prices are up since Trump took office.
We are solving that, too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey.
Except for oil, which, of course, like seasonally, it's always down in the winter compared, right? Oil's your one argument. You got like a 1 cent differential.
Was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling.
Who was president in March? This guy. This guy was president in March.
Rapidly, and it's not done yet. But boy, are we making progress.
Boy.
Nobody can believe what's going on.
Yeah.
Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical...
That's not true. I'm going to stop this one, but like this is so easy to check. We're gonna pull this up. And I'm going to do the last 5 years. Biden takes office there. We had real wages that dropped due to a COVID pandemic. As soon as the pandemic was over, it raised. We were at 376 from 371. It went up. It did not go down from when he took office. Or I guess we can go Q4 2024, 375. It went up. He's lying. I don't know why all the Republicans right now are out saying this. It's not true.
Factory worker is seeing a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,000.
Just talk to somebody who works in the construction industry. And anecdotal, but bonuses are being cut this year. The stuff that they would get for like Christmas bonuses from from contractors, those aren't coming in. If you're in the construction industry, you know what he's talking about here. Even if wages went up, jobs have been lost. So if wages are up, but more people are unemployed, there's less work going on.
$1,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. the wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that?
It's been doing that since the end of the pandemic, though. That was in existence before Trump came into office.
Importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is
That's also not true. But I mean, if you're looking like net jobs, but he created new jobs in the government sector too. He's just talking about net jobs now.
Only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States.
He has not secured it. People have floated the idea that they might be willing to invest that. None of that is secured. He has no evidence of that. MAGA has no evidence of that. You just let him lie.
States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades.
Can we acknowledge that it's weird that he says shit like that? My favorite word, tariffs.
Have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles, we're doing.
Remember when I said that everything he said would be levels we've never seen? Is anybody counting? All of these things we've seen before, none of these are record-setting. We are not bringing back American manufacturing jobs. Like I said, I think it's 10 million jobs we've lost in total. Like net, we're down 10 million jobs since he's took office. We are losing jobs under Donald Trump.
What nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country...
Mostly because it doesn't exist. None of that happened.
Country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail. Totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months.
Trust me. Yeah, no shit. They tell you that, and then you give them a deal. All they have to do is tell you how great you are. And you're like, okay, I'll drop your tariffs. Okay, you can do business with us. They told me I was hot, guys. That's it. That's his explanation. Everybody tells me how hot we are.
Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into...
No, I'm not being specific, Mutter Jen. I said we are down, net jobs are down 10 million. You take the jobs that this country has created versus the jobs that have been lost. It's a negative of 10 million. And Donald Trump didn't do that because the president doesn't do that. They're just parroting CNN. In fact check yourself. I'm watching the president right now. Look it up.
One beautiful bill that includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776.
We can't pay our bills. We don't have this money. We are borrowing money to give to these service members. I'm all for people getting bonuses. I don't really care, but don't let them pretend like we have this extra money laying around. We have a budget deficit. We are not. We are currently not paying our bills. We're not able currently to sell Treasury bonds, so the Treasury is having to buy them. So this is him just bribing people to vote in the midterms.
We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more.
Because you didn't tell us. Nobody even understood. Yeah, you didn't tell us. This is fucking stupid. If there's MAGA watching right now, somewhere a MAGA Live is going, I bet the Dems are going to say that the military doesn't deserve this. No, we just said we can't afford it. This is just more debt from the party that claims fiscal responsibility.
More money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill.
Soldiers die for us. What's wrong with you? I'm just telling you that I'm correcting what he said. See, like, I don't know if you're fucking with me right now or not. I'm correcting what he said. He said we have all this extra money and we're giving a dividend. Do you know what a dividend is? Like if I have stocks, there's a couple stocks I own that I get a dividend. If they are profitable, they pay me according to how much stock I own. They'll kick me back some money. That's a dividend. We've lost money. We don't have any revenue. We're underwater. So this isn't a dividend. This is taking out debt to give to soldiers. I'm just correcting what he's saying. If you and that's again, like, that's MAGA. MAGA gets offended when you correctly say when you correct what he's saying. They're like, yeah, well, you hate the troops.
Helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military. And I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military. And last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done.
Oh, yeah, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs. That's true. We're okay. We're taking in money, and we're still upside down. We still have a deficit, but we're doing fine. Okay.
Standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%.
Chat, can you do this? Can you explain it? Chat, can you just explain why what he said there was dumb? I feel like I'm doing this on my own. I'm feeling lonely up here. Can you explain to MAGA how that's not possible? And he's been corrected on that. Like, the person who wrote this speech, all of the people around him know that what he's saying can't exist. It's impossible. That would mean, like, I went and picked up my prescription today. That would mean they were paying me money. Like, I'd go in there, they're like, thank you for picking up your prescription today. Here's $85, and they would give me money. This isn't possible. Everybody around him knows it, and the only reason he's still saying it is because he started saying it because he's fucking dumb, and he's too arrogant to change or admit that he said something dumb, and everybody around him is so cucky and stupid that they won't correct him. So we have the president of the United States in a trade war with our biggest enemies, and they must be going, Jesus fucking Christ, this man can't do basic fucking math. No wonder we're getting our shit kicked in. Because our dumbass president and his dumbass cabinet and you dumbass motherfuckers don't correct him because you all worship him. You're afraid to correct a man who is citing math that cannot exist. You might as well say, I have lowered the price of drugs by unicorn fucking a donkey. See how that doesn't make sense? It makes the same amount of sense as what he's saying. It's impossible. It doesn't make fucking sense. Biden wasn't corrected. Robert, you silly bitch. No whataboutisms here. You are being deported for being a whiny bitch and a whataboutism bitch in this live, and now you must be deported back to the shithole from whence you came. We do not allow you to play whataboutism here. If we're going to sit here and watch this together, you're going to address this dipshit motherfucker in front of us, and you're going to explain to us why it doesn't bother you that he makes up numbers that don't make any sense. You don't get to talk about Joe Biden here. Anybody who says Joe Biden, mods, mute them. Thank you.
In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I use the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it.
I hate that I have to stop this every 12 seconds. The Congressional Budget Office just released their numbers for the Republican plan for healthcare, the Democrat plan for healthcare, and doing nothing. And guess what? No matter which way we go, the price of healthcare will be skyrocketing. So when he tells you the price will soon be coming down, he's lying. But you don't care that he lies. Well, he's still gonna kill brown people, right? Yeah, he's still gonna do that. All right, well, I'm cool with it. The other stuff I don't care about so much.
The cost of this giant dollar reduction, they stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible.
There's the 80th time, because this guy has the vocabulary of a 6-year-old. All right, somebody explain to me. We've solved the border. The border's closed. Somebody explain this. 90% of our drugs coming across the border. 90%. But the border is closed. We have record numbers of drugs getting into this country through the borders, which is closed. And what Trump's going to do to fix that is blow up boats in the ocean. Cool.
It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy the...
Oh, that's you guys. So that you can give that money to the health insurance companies. I'm tired of these motherfuckers getting all the money. What are you going to do instead? I'm going to give the money to the people. What do they do with that money? They give it to the health insurance companies. So you're taking an extra step to give them the same money? Fucking right. Look at the problem I just solved. Cool. Yeah, I sped it up.
Their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums.
He's what? See, they don't have a solution. They just voted for a bill, which now I'll cover that in a minute. It was sick what they did in Congress today. They tried to cheat, and it was so bad that Republicans were like, "Fuck you, Mike Johnson," and then they they voted on a discharge petition. The Republican bill is so bad that Republicans are like, "Sorry, we're gonna have to do what the Democrats want to do." They're both bad, but like the Republicans is so bad that the Republicans are gonna wind up voting for the Democrats' bill. That's how bad it is. And Trump, what he's talking about, Trump RX, is just the ACA marketplace, but it has his name on it now. It's not going to be any different. It's the exact same fucking thing. The only difference is there's not going to be as many subsidies, so less people are going to use it. It's just going to be another website with his dumb dick name on it, and it won't do anything different than Obamacare. He just wants everything to have his name on it.
Demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price.
No, you motherfucking won't, you dumb motherfucker. Giving the money to the people instead of using the ACA marketplace destroys collective bargaining. The way that you get health care cheaper is you bring a pool of people together and you negotiate lower prices because you have bargaining power. So if you break up those groups and you ask people to negotiate individually, they will not get lower prices. That's dumb shit. This is what happens when you don't have a plan, but your president is a dipshit who thinks that you're all dipshits, and he goes, what if I just went out there and told them that it's going to be cheaper? They'd be like, all right, that'll probably work. They're just going to believe you.
The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich in the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy.
We did this yesterday. 8 out of the 10 biggest recipients of lobbyist money from the health insurance industry are Republicans. 8 out of 10 of the largest recipients of health insurance donations are Republicans. He's lying. He's owned by them. But again, Republicans aren't going to fact check this. Because you're anti-vax, you think for some reason that your people aren't in bed with the health insurance companies and big pharma. Man, they are.
But that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels.
The two cheapest types of energy are wind and solar, even with the subsidies that they were granted. And Donald Trump killed the two most efficient ways to get energy and the two cheapest ways to get energy, and instead going with oil, which is expensive and volatile. Cool.
Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically.
I mean, if that was true, which it's not, is it helping? Their whole premise is, and let's be clear about this, the reason that they talk about gas prices is they said that their number one priority would be drill, baby, drill. And if you drill enough oil, that brings down the prices of everything. Well, if that were true, why, as the price of oil has dropped, why are all of our other bills still going up? Now they're doubling down on math and a theory that you can check yourself. Why are prices still going up? Gas is stabilized. Their entire ideology revolves around this idea that if you lower the price of oil, all the other prices come down, but the prices aren't coming down. So you can talk about oil all you want, but the reason we care about that as people who follow Donald Trump is because what the Republicans have told us is that if they lower that price, everything else will get cheaper. That's not happening. Why not, Republicans? Why are the prices not coming down if this is supposed to drive the prices down? Because it was always bullshit. That's why. The effects that gas has on, like oil prices have on your everyday expenses is minimal.
I would say by anybody, or certainly not very soon, prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule.
Why is that? Why did the price of mortgages go up? Because the price of housing went up. That's why. Why did the price of housing go up? So we allowed a private, one of the big reasons where I live, not every state, but in Arizona, 30%, I think it wound up being closer to 40% of new home purchases were purchased by private equity, meaning there were bidding wars. And if you have bidding wars on houses, what happens? Your price goes up. Deregulation of the housing industry caused the pricing to go up. And Republicans brag about that all the time. If Donald Trump had been president during that time, he'd say, instead of talking about the price of or your mortgage going up, he would be talking about your net worth going up. This is the game they play. He'd be like, the average net worth of Americans went up however much. And he would be basing that on the price that of housing, that the price of your, like for example, I bought my house in 2017 or 2016 for $350,000. At its peak, it was worth over $1 million. If he had been president during that time, he'd be talking about net worth. But since he wasn't president, he's talking about the price of mortgage. But is he going to do anything about that? What he's telling you he's going to do is lower gas prices, and somehow that'll bring down your mortgage. How's that work? How does lowering gas prices bring down your mortgage? It doesn't. He just says shit.
In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon enough.
How do we do that? We kept rates high. So now we've got another problem. Why is housing stabilized? Because people aren't buying anymore. Why are people not buying anymore? Well, one, people don't have as much money, but two, the rates aren't very attractive. So people like myself who got in at a low rate, we're not going to sell right now because if we if we upgrade our house, we're going to pay a worse rate. So people are sitting on houses right now. But he's also advocating that we lower the rates. If we lower the rates, that will raise the price of housing again. He's just showing numbers that he thinks look good, and he's not realizing that most of the stuff he's saying, his policies will reverse these trends.
Our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in
I sped up the video.
Lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further early the new year, and you will see this. In the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs.
I bet they will. We've been waiting for his housing plan also for the first administration and now this one. He's not going to drop a housing plan. He's just not.
Was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same...
Let's see if that's true. What percentage of growth in rental prices came from immigrants? Immigrants contribute to rental growth by, now what do you say, 60%, right? Let's get his exact claim here real quick. I want to make sure I get it exactly right. 1814, let's go back to there.
Millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs. And
okay, so according to, who's the source here? The Joint Center for Housing Studies, Center for Immigration Studies, the Urban Institute. According to them, immigrants contribute to rental growth by increasing housing demand, with studies showing a 1% raise, potentially increasing rents by 0.8 to 1.6%, just short of the 60%. Just short. And then this is the game they play. So this is why Trump does this. And this is a learning lesson for all of us. Trump will say 60%. And Ed will do this thing too. We'll correct the number, and then the MAGA will go, but see, it still is a problem. It's a really brilliant thing that Republicans do because their audiences are dumb people. They give you a number that doesn't make any sense. You fact check that number, and then the Republicans go, well, what's the real number? Once you get to the real number, they're like, well, that's still good, so I don't care that he's lying to me. He always picks an outrageous number. Most of you will just believe it. A handful of you will get into a debate and you won't admit that you lost. And an even smaller handful of you will admit that you lost, but then you'll be like, well, I don't care. It's just who he is. He always over exaggerates. But the effect is that most of the people who hear this believe him. And that furthers the divide, but we don't care about that, right?
At emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law.
Anthony says, fact check this. I'm not a pervert like the liberals who want to shove perversion down everyone's throats. That's a fact, Jack. You want to be a communist? Won't you move to communist China? First of all, you're about to be deported. But Anthony, the only people having anything shoved down somebody else's throat are your dad. And it was me. And he loved it. And he asked for more. Now, you will be deported from our country for coming in and being a whiny bitch. You can come back in 5 minutes. But we don't need you in this country right now. You need to immigrate the right way. When you come back, you will stay on topic. You will not insult me unless it's on topic. And we will see you in 5 minutes. Enjoy your mute, you whiny bitch.
enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants.
This is their new claim. Their new claim is 100% of all jobs created under the Biden administration went to foreign migrants. Of course, that's not true. Raise your hand if you got a new job. Raise your hand if your company opened up jobs. This is their actual new claim, that 100% of jobs under the Biden administration were given to immigrants, illegal immigrants, they say. They have lost their fucking minds, and Republicans don't care. They've sold their soul to this dipshit.
Took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive...
And of course he can't fact check this either. For him to say that all job creation has been been American citizens, that's probably not true, because there's people here who aren't citizens who have legal work authorization and they've gotten jobs. But when you're tracking this job or these jobs, you're not tracking jobs that go to people who are here illegally. We don't track those. So the job numbers that he's citing here always go to people who are here legally. That is always the number. The number is always 100%. So now he's bragging about shit that always happens.
Got a hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function.
It's crazy that this is actually what he's doing. Right? He's made $4 billion since he's been in office. He's handing out contracts to his son, who has no experience in any of the industries that he's working in. He's handing out contracts to Elon Musk like they're ketamine poppers. The thing that he's accusing other people of doing, he's doing on a much larger scale. But MAGA doesn't care, because white, see white here? This is white. When it's white, it's not a crime. When it's white, it's just, politicians will be politicians. But when it's black people, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation has stopped. Wages are up. Prices are
more fraud exposed in the White House today, too, but you don't care about the fraud in the White House. You only care about the black people. Tell me, do you know the fraud that's been exposed about Donald Trump? I bet you don't.
Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of...
You would never be friends with somebody who took credit for everything like this. You wouldn't. None of you would. You would all hate this guy if you didn't sell your souls to him. If he wasn't your entire identity. Nobody respects somebody who takes credit for everything and takes blame for nothing. Unless it's in politics where you guys have just like, we're just going down with the ship. Yeah, it's sped up a little bit. Welcome everybody from the Doug Raid. If Doug's here, thanks, buddy.
Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you.
Larry, stay on topic, please. I don't want to have to deport you, but stay on topic, Larry. What you're doing right now is projecting. You're feeling insecure right now about all these things, and so you're just hype. You're like, oh, I feel good about the midterms. I got to talk about something positive right now. Sit in your uncomfortabilities, Larry. We got to train you MAGAs to deal with facts and not run from them with whataboutism. We're going to be real strict on the rest of this live. We're going to train you up good. Pavlov's MAGAs.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
All right. Well, I guess he didn't announce war. I guess we're not going to war yet. I don't know when we're going to do that. That was stupid.
What was the point of that?
I don't know. I guess he just did a campaign rally. I guess that's what we watched.
Jesus Christ. He does this shit every fucking day.
Well, how else was Larry going to come tonight? Trump didn't have a campaign event, so Larry needed something.
I guess. I mean, anything for you, Larry, I guess.
There you go, Larry. I hope you had a strong stream coming out there. I don't know. That was a wasted fucking time. I thought we were going to war. We just did a whole ass campaign.
And you're what was the thing? Like I had to go the dark horse thing you mentioned. That wasn't that either.
Don't bring that up, but I still think that's in play. Okay.
All right. Between you, me, and the 1,000-something people between all the streams.
Okay.
But I won't tell a lot of this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This could have been an email. Yeah, Liz said. Illusion said he's coupling BS on the back of bribing the military. Yeah. The point was the military giving him a Christmas bonus. Whatever. I don't care. Like, fine if military is getting a Christmas bonus, whatever. But let's not pretend that he's not just trying to buy votes for that. He's not just trying to buy goodwill. Is he about to send him into war? Gizilla.com said, I didn't know Trump could beat his first 4 years of lies in one speech. We learn something new every day. I mean, that was literally, I watched him give that exact speech a week ago in Pennsylvania. He's reading the same speeches over and over. You guys, do you recognize yet that Donald Trump is on autopilot? That they can't trust him to go out there without a teleprompter? All the shit that you complained about with Joe Biden, Trump's doing it. He's giving the same speech verbatim every single day. And he has to read it. He can't even remember it. And most of it doesn't make sense. A good portion of it is stuff that's just verifiably untrue. I love this guy. He's so awesome. He owns the libs. They get so mad at him for being stupid. It is the auto pen all over again.
But the military is getting $1,776.
That's America, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Luna said the wizard pleading how great and powerful he was. Amy Lynn said getting rid of DEI made it so men, and especially white men, are not getting into college. Apparently they were not the best. True. Thurman, so thank you for paying your taxes. We appreciate that. We are a law-abiding people here, and we pay taxes. Damien said, bang, bang, Niner gang. I love that, Damien. You're the MVP tonight. Wasn't me said, I miss our country having a semblance of dignity. Yeah, that's gone. Brenda said, for the hottest country, the country of RTP. Appreciate that. Lou said, want to know what transgender for everybody means. Yeah, we're still waiting on that one. Transgender for everybody. All of you are getting a sex change no matter what. That's what the Democrats want. If you've got an outie, it's an innie. If you've got an innie, now it's an outie. It's what we're doing. That's what the Democrats wanted. That's how I won. It's so stupid. God damn it. I can't believe we wasted our time. Anybody else feel just completely unsatisfied there? It sucks so bad. All right. Let's get into I did all the Brendan Carr stuff, I think, that I wanted to cover. Let's do this. Let's just stay on Trump. Let's watch something way better. Told you guys we were going to cover this. But,
for as much as President Trump talks,
I want to show this. It's only 12 minutes here from More Perfect Union. But finally, we've got some pretty good journalism here on the corruption of Donald Trump. Now, MAGA, I know that you're here. And you're going to freak the fuck out while we watch this, okay? I just want to reiterate the rules. You are allowed to argue with any of this stuff. You're allowed counterfactuals. You are allowed to engage in what we're talking about. But what you can't do is do whataboutism. You don't get to say, what about Joe Biden? What about Obama? Why didn't you say this when blank was in office? What about Nancy Pelosi? We're only talking about this tonight. So you can say whatever you want, but it's got to be on topic or we deport you. Are we all good there? How much do I get paid? Your mom pays me $34 per dick pic. So it depends on how many I send her a day. There doesn't seem to be a limit. So it just depends on what bills I need to pay. Sometimes you got a little more blood flow than other days. So I've had a couple $500 days. I've had a couple $200 days. It's somewhere usually in between there. Thank you for asking.
It's a big game about being tough on crime.
I appointed patriotic, tough on crime warriors. But as you know, we're a tough on crime administration. We are going to be very tough on crime.
There's one type of criminal that he keeps pardoning.
President Trump has issued pardons to the 3 co-founders of the Bitcoin mercantile exchange.
President Trump today signing a pardon for Ross Ulbricht, the creator of a dark web marketplace named Silk Road.
He was charged with narcotics trafficking, distribution of narcotics by means of the internet, conspiracy, enterprise, aid and abetting, and money laundering, conspiracy.
Criminals in the crypto industry. His favorite crypto criminal is Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, a man he pretends not to know, but who you're going to hear a lot about in this video.
Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
CZ is the CEO.
That's my favorite one ever. Why'd you pardon him? All right, are you ready for this? I don't fucking know. I have no idea what I'm doing up here. They bring me shit and I just fucking sign it. And then Mac is like, well, Joe Biden auto pen. Your guy literally said, ready for it? I don't know who the fuck that guy is. And you're like, yeah, that's fine. We're the auto pen people.
Founder of Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, and one of Trump's most recent pardons. He was charged.
Override. I know you didn't come back here after your deportation and start whining like a little bitch again, did you? I know you didn't do that. I know you didn't come in and start breaking the rules again. You got to control yourself. I'll give you a warning this time, but you got to stay on topic. You can only complain about shit that we're watching. You can't complain about other shit, or we gotta deport you again. And this time it's longer.
By the U.S. government, much like the BitMEX founders, for ignoring anti-money laundering laws. He pled guilty, spent 4 months in federal prison, was fined millions of dollars, and actually was forced to step down as the CEO of Binance. What makes all of these crypto pardons especially peculiar is that not too long ago, Trump denounced this wildly speculative, fraud-ridden industry.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam. I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar.
So what changed between 2021, a time when Trump would liken crypto businessmen to scam artists, and now?
A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail. And then what he did, well, you don't know much about crypto.
What did President Trump stand to gain from opening his arms to this industry? When journalist Jacob Silverman brought us this story, it became clear that of all of Trump's pardons, this was by far the most corrupt one. It reveals a covert arrangement of bribery, shadowy companies, foreign influence, and it might just...
Maggie, we'll pause this for a second. Maggie, do you need me to explain any of this to you? Do you know what cryptocurrency is? Do you know what pardons are? Is there anything you have questions about so far? Somebody asked where you can get this full video. We post all of our links in the Discord. You can join there, or you can go to a More Perfect Union's webpage, YouTube page. This is them here, a More Perfect Union, and this is their most recent video. I think it came out yesterday.
Just be Trump's ticket to becoming one of the richest people in not just the country.
Do I have enough crayons? Good question, Will Ram. I do. I got one of those packs with 36 different colors. I'm missing the orange and the pink, and your dad did say that he wasn't sure if we got all of them out, and so he's going to go in tomorrow for an x-ray and just check, but thank you for checking on that. We have 34 out of the 36.
But the world in only a matter of years. The story starts in 2024, when the crypto industry dumped at least $131 million into the presidential election.
Oh, somebody's got to deport mass override there. But I told him that he had to stand. Sorry, you're not keeping the rules, bud. Go back to your shithole country. Mass override needs to be deported. Sorry, bud. Just try and stay on topic. And OC Surfer, you've done this before. You've done this before. Oh, never mind. That's fair. I'm not keeping moms out of it. If she's gonna send me money, I'll do it. Listen, I'm cheap that way. If you want to see it too, it's $34 a pop. It's not always me though. I can't guarantee that every picture will be me.
much of which was spent getting Trump back into the White House. Crypto also spent big on defeating anti-crypto Democrats like Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, who lost his race after the industry spent $40 million supporting his opponent, Bernie Moreno. Jacob tells me it didn't take long for Trump to see that he could benefit both politically and personally from the industry.
Can you tell me the story of the early days of World Liberty Financial, what it is and who's involved?
In October 2024, the Trump family announced that they had founded a new crypto company called World Liberty Financial. And they did it with Steve Witkoff, a billionaire developer who's a close friend of Donald Trump and is now his chief diplomatic envoy, and Steve Witkoff's sons, and two other kind of crypto lifers who hadn't really had much success in their previous project.
Weird. Okay. Never created a business. Nepo baby that's in college here. Nepo baby here. Steve Witkoff, a lot of business with Russia. Weird. So the president can create a cryptocurrency, put Steve Witkoff in his administration, put his kids all on the board, and then direct foreign investors and United States citizens to invest in this cryptocurrency if they want favorable treatment from him. We good with this? MAGA, we good with this? Yeah, we're good with it. Remember, we don't ever take his dick out of our mouth. It's only fraud when it's Democrats.
It quickly became...
Barron, he's a co-founder. Barron's a co-founder. He did so many cool things.
Became the main crypto company among several, but the main vehicle for the Trump family to take in billions of dollars worth of real money and crypto. They promised to build the financial system of tomorrow and marketed themselves as a decentralized financial company.
Nope, not just like Hunter making desks wit. Divine, that's your one warning here. We don't do whataboutism. You have to stay on topic, but I'll address that. Joe Biden was investigated for 4 years, and the Republicans found $0 and 0 cents that went into his pocket. World Liberty Financial, 70% of that is going to Donald fucking Trump and his children, and Donald is the president. We can track the money. But that's your one warning with whataboutism. We're not talking about Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. If you bring that up, you are going to be deported.
That, like so many other crypto companies, was somehow going to bring financial empowerment to the masses. And when Trump won the election in November, the money really started to pour in. World Liberty Financial announced $1 billion in WLF token sales the first week Trump was in office.
Huh.
How does CZ get involved in this story? I know he helps out World Liberty Financial pretty early on in a big way.
Fun fact, Venezuela nationalized its oil industry in 1976. Thank you. Corvette Girl Robin said, I have $34. JK, you opened that up for this, though. Look, I'll send it. It just might not be mine. Illusion said the point was paying the military. Oh, I read that one.
CZ's crypto exchange Binance, which is the biggest exchange in the world, created the USD1 stablecoin for World Liberty Financial. They actually wrote the code that ended up making the token. A stablecoin is generally a crypto token whose value is supposed to remain constant, usually pegged to the US dollar. So one of these USD1 tokens is supposed
they talked about pegging. Larry, control yourself.
To stay at a constant $1. The USD1 token is pretty much the same as any other stablecoin, but the main key critical difference here is that this one is attached to the president and the first family. The question we should be asking with USD1 is, why are people using this? Why do people want to use a token issued by the president rather than real money?
Let me explain with these different boxes. Imagine this is the US's traditional financial system. And let's say I want to send this money to a business to buy something, and maybe said business is located in another country. In order to do so, I have to put my money in this box, and away it goes. At each stop, the money is inspected. Its origin and destination is checked. Officials will verify that the money complies with the law. Anti-money laundering, sanctions compliance, conflicts of interest, know your customer, tax law. There are a lot of stops on the way.
I'd like to point out that one of the big criticism of what's happening in Minnesota is that people are taking money that's intended for entitlement spending, and they're sending it back to their families in Somalia. And so they are laundering money. That's the big claim. So Donald Trump doesn't think that money should be able to flow internationally without from like federal funds, and it should be able to flow internationally through people from Somalia. If they live here, they should invest their money here in the United States. They shouldn't be allowed to send it other places. Just remember that. Just remember that when we talk about what he's doing with crypto.
Low, but these protections are important. By the time the money arrives at its destination, we know a lot about it. Their relatively slow speed is a feature, it's not a bug. Now imagine this is the system created by World Liberty Financial. Someone decides to send money, real dollars, to buy some of the company's crypto tokens. The money goes in. Because there's essentially no regulation, nobody really knows where it came from, who sent it, or where it's going. The box skips all of these stops and avoids all of these regulations. Money laundering? Sanctions? Not a concern here. At the end of this nonstop journey, which can be much faster.
The reason that it's hidden is it's on the blockchain, and also we need the federal government to investigate this. We have the Security and Exchange Commission, which really should be the ones that are regulating this, but the crypto industry has lobbied members of Congress and the Trump administration to not consider it as securities. And so what the Trump administration has said is, we're not going to investigate any of this stuff. In fact, we are only going to investigate the actual cash transactions because we want to push people away from our currency, the US dollar, and we want to push them into cryptocurrency. That's new today. It's new today that they're saying that, and I'll show you that video next. But now they're openly advocating that you don't use our money, that you allow our money to devalue and we use cryptocurrency. MQ17 will be banned forever. Thank you. Never coming back, you dumb bitch. But now Trump is saying we're going to create our own rival to our own currency. He ran on like BRICS. Remember he was talking about the BRICS nations and how they were trying to take out our currency? Now Donald Trump is saying, okay, if we're going to lose the currency battle, maybe I'll just do crypto. I at least need to benefit from this. So we're going to now go to war against our own currency. Cool.
Faster than what we see in traditional finance, I have WLF tokens or USD1 tokens that I can use like digital dollars. I can send them anywhere, even a crypto wallet owned by the first family. And unlike the traditional process involving the US dollar, this crypto transaction generates money. Any money exchanged for USD1 is held by World Liberty Financial, which they then get.
Who brought that up? Who brought up the XRP? Ethan said you should look up the XRP versus the SEC. Yeah. So this was a lawsuit that started like 2019, 2020, something like that. And it was basically alleging that what they had were securities. It had something to do with Ripple, which I think was the coin, but it was largely seen as like a defining case. And then Trump came in and he's just like, fuck it. You can just, I think what did he give him? A fine. What was the fine? 125 million, slap on the wrist. And they said, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's fine. Trump just basically pulled the charges. Now they're back to doing what they were doing, which is money laundering.
To invest in things like short-term treasury bonds, which generates income for the Trump family. So critically, when people use this parallel...
Yes, NPC mercenary, just default the USD and rebound on crypto. That's exactly, I think, what they're planning now. I'll show you a video from Trump now, from the administration's plan. But I do think that they're looking at our debt. They know they can't pay it. So I think they're going to try and default on our debts, devalue our currency, and then try and just flip it out for crypto. I think that's the plan.
System. It makes the president and his family richer, a lot richer, and it's all made legal by legislation like the Genius Act, passed by Trump and his party with an assist from some prominent Democrats. Welcome to the corruption economy. You can now buy influence with the president at speed.
The Genius Act basically allowed Trump has World Liberty Financial token. He has a stable coin. And the Genius Act is basically, one, it's going to direct a lot of investment there, but it's also a massive deregulation from an industry that is barely regulated. Trump wrote and signed into law, and Congress backed it, and some Democrats, a bill that makes it easier for him to hide the money that he's being given by foreign countries and by companies in this country who want to bribe him.
You wouldn't believe. without any kind of permission, just buy this token. So you've brought us some examples, some egregious cases of people putting money in the black box.
So earlier this year, an Emirati company called MGX, which is affiliated with the government there, part of the...
Good question. NPC said, but wouldn't that just incentivize countries to ban crypto? Yeah, which is why I think Trump is threatening military action against anybody who stands in his way for anything that he wants right now. We're in an untenable situation with America. We can either reverse course, and we can change our plan and invest in renewable energy and invest in Americans, or Donald Trump, which would require Donald Trump to admit that he's wrong, or Donald Trump can continue down this road and try and gobble up all the oil so that he can continue the mass production of data centers. And because we can't pay for that, and because there's no return on investment, he's already cut taxes for these oil barons, and we're never going to collect enough revenue from those taxes to pay for our debt. The only other option there is to default on the debt somehow, or get rid of the debt somehow. If you devalue the currency and then you pay it off, that's one way to do it. If we're down 11% with the dollar now. If we devalue the dollar down enough, it's easier to pay off our debt. So yeah, that's what they're doing, and they're just not telling you about it. And because they know their base is fucking stupid, they're coming out and they're lying to you about like what our metrics are, and everything's going really, really well. And the base is like, oh, it must be, and they're running out of time. So that's why you're seeing the acceleration of these programs now, seemingly coming out of nowhere overnight. I think they're moving their timeline up. I think that we're running out of money faster than they thought we were going to. So now we've got to start invading. Now we've got to start really like shifting our currency away from the dollar to cryptocurrency. The name of this video is We Investigated the Criminals Who Bought Trump. What we found will shock you. It's by More Perfect Union.
Sovereign Wealth Fund decided it wanted to invest $2 billion in Binance. Instead of just sending $2 billion to Binance, the UAE and this prince named Sheikh Tahnoon, who's a member of the royal family, decided to involve World Liberty Financial. So what they did was they sent $2 billion to World Liberty Financial. In return, they got $2 billion worth of USD1 stablecoins. This is the USD1 stablecoin that was originally created by Binance. Then they take that $2 billion worth of USD1 coins, they send that to Binance, and now MGX, or the Emirati government, owns a $2 billion share in Binance. Right after this major investment in May, Binance, and now
they're laundering through Donald Trump. Donald Trump can protect himself by not being investigated for money laundering, and he takes a piece off the top. He's Saul. Like think of Breaking Bad. This is Saul. He's cleaning their money for them. Donald Trump created a company to clean the people who have invested and funded terrorism all over the world. And Donald Trump and his family and Steve Witkoff are acting as money launderers for them now. Cool. Right? Super cool. He's always done this? No, he hasn't. He's never done this. This is the first. And he didn't even understand how to do this. It's just his name. Again, I'll tell you again, it's not Eric. It's not Donald Jr. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Steve Witkoff. It's not Zach Witkoff. It's not Alex Witkoff. These are the useful idiots. These are the people pulling the strings. These are the useful idiots. Again, think of Donald Trump as Saul. They will all abandon him. They will all fuck him over when they want to. And now they have all this leverage too, because they're using him for money laundering. So now they're all committing crimes together, and they have all this leverage over him. And the leverage doesn't have to be like, maybe he wants to do this stuff, but he's always going to choose money over what's best for us. So he's looking at his bottom line. He's not looking at your bottom line. But Donald Trump is legitimately running a money laundering service. And the only people that can investigate him are in Congress saying, we can't investigate him because he's our boss. He tells us what to do. Everything we were afraid Project 2025 would do is happening in real time. They're just out here using the presidency to make billions of dollars at your expense.
MGX, or the Emirati government, owns a $2 billion share in Binance. Right after this major investment in May, the administration gave the UAE
Did I say what about Saul? Better call Saul. Sorry if I said what about. It's late for me.
Access to highly advanced AI chips from the US. There was an SEC case against Binance that gets dropped, and seemingly all the legal issues facing Binance here in the US and in some other parts of the world start to...
What'd you say? What happens to all of us who don't have crypto? Well, if he's able to pull this off, it's going to be a massive extraction of wealth. And the richest people in the world are also the richest people in crypto. And so they're using crypto. They understand that crypto, that they need to hedge their bets here. That's why originally crypto was this thing. It was this idea, and libertarians loved it. And they're like, crypto is going to be cool because it's decentralized. It can't be regulated. Nobody trusts the big banks. Nobody trusts the Federal Reserve. Nobody trusts the government. And what Donald Trump has done is he's brought in the big banks, he's brought in the Federal Reserve, and he's brought in the government. And all these crypto dudes, all these crypto bros who are like, see, I fucking told you. I've been saying it for years, and finally we have a president who understands it. No. His donors understand it, and they want to take it over. They want to control it. So they took this project you had, and they own it now, and you don't. You're a cheerleader. But the people that are invested in crypto, they might have started with the right ideas. They might have started thinking like, this is a great project for us. This is going to change. This is going to change the way that finance works. And now that they're looking at it, and clearly it's going to be more of the same, except for this is far less regulated. It's easier to steal. I have a friend who had most of their life savings in crypto stolen twice. Just woke up one day and their crypto wallet was empty. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's not protected. It's not FDIC insured. Millions of dollars, lost millions of dollars. So this is all the bankers, all the bad players, all the people that we don't want in control. They looked at this and they're like, all right, well, it's adopted now. Enough people are having it. So now we're going to take control. And now they control all of it. So yeah, it's just a way for them to get around regulation. Now they're talking about doing like mortgages, and they're talking about banking and giving loans in crypto. Why? Because it's not regulated. So now they can start doing illegal shit again. All the work we put in after 2008, crypto just bypasses all of that. All the corruption laws we put in this country, crypto bypasses all of that. They're literally just stealing wealth right in front of our eyes, and God damn, it sucks that MAGA exists. Larry, I love you to death, man. It fucking sucks that you exist in the way that you exist right now. It fucking sucks. You are so proud, all of you. You're so proud and so arrogant, and you love owning the libs, that when it's this obvious, you're still going to double down on it because you will never admit that you were wrong. That's the reality that we're staring at. We need a bunch of Larrys to wake the fuck up. I don't have a lot of faith in Larry.
Go away. And finally, CZ had been publicly asking for a pardon for months, and he finally got that. He was pardoned by Trump despite pleading guilty to financial crimes and spending 4 months in federal prison. And let's not forget, Steve Witkoff, a founder of World Liberty Financial, helped broker this deal. Steve Witkoff is playing a dual role in that he is both Trump's top diplomatic envoy to the Middle East. He's negotiating a lot of these deals. As of his last financial disclosure, Witkoff still had an ownership interest in World Liberty, where, let me remind you, his 2 sons also work. So he is potentially directly profiting off of these both diplomatic and crypto deals.
Steve Witkoff is using the government to make these deals, and then he's profiting from the deals directly. That sounds like a quid pro quo.
If it's not a quid pro quo, I don't know what one is. Then we've got Justin Sun. Justin Sun is a very colorful, almost notorious crypto entrepreneur.
Is there any MAGA here? Was that a quid pro quo? This is what we debated last night with MAGA too. That it's clear, like there's not even an argument. Trump's taking bribes to give people pardons, and he's making millions off of it. Why do you want more scammers back out in the market, able to scam again? That is a tough pause.
Entrepreneur.
Hi, I'm Justin Sun. I'm floating in the space.
who has been involved in a lot of projects. His most notable one is called the
Mugshot parties? What's a mugshot party?
Tron blockchain, which is widely used for money laundering in the criminal underworld. Sun has been in a lot of trouble with the SEC for a long time, charged with fraud and market manipulation.
Good question, Mama Kimbo. It really is this simple. How can any of this be allowed? Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, the SEC, the FTC will not investigate Donald Trump or anybody he tells them not to investigate. So if they give Donald Trump money, they don't get investigated. We don't have laws that cover this, but even if we did have laws that cover this, they wouldn't be enforced. And Congress is also being lobbied by crypto to not regulate, and Republicans are the mark. Think of it, if you wanted to go scam, like you had two cities to choose from. Let's say that you're a snake oil salesman in the 1800s. You have two cities to choose from. You have one city full of people that have wealth, they have education, and they've seen scammers before. And you have another city that just barely learned what money is. They don't have doctors, they don't have medicine. They all just get sick and they die. As a scammer, which city are you going to choose? You're going to choose the dumb city. And the scammers chose the dumb city. And the dumb city has a lot of red hats. And this is just statistically true. You're not educated. You largely don't understand finance. Lots of people in crypto are also conservatives. Why? Because you bought into an ideology, and a lot of other people did too. Crypto is hype. The reason Bitcoin is worth what it is because a lot of people fucking bought it. The reason Ethereum is what it is because a lot of people bought it, and that's it. It's a speculative asset. You have all decided together that your feelings are going to drive the price of an asset. Why? Because that's a hell of a lot easier than understanding economics. And so you get all these very arrogant crypto folks who are like, getting an education, what a waste of time. The whole system's rigged. That's why I do crypto, because it's not rigged. And they didn't even notice that the same people who rigged our economic system saw a bunch of fucking dumbass marks, and they're like, hold up. Look, we can try and cheat the banking system, but we've got people looking over our shoulder all the time. The FBI, the SEC, the FTC, we got the IRS. They're on us all the time. We can either keep trying to get as much money as we can in this system, or we can move to this other system where there is virtually no regulation, and there is a unmeasurable number of dipshits. And these dipshits are also arrogant. So even when we fuck them over and we do 2 rug pulls, which Trump did, 2 pump and dump schemes. If you're not familiar with what a rug pull is or a pump and dump scheme, let me introduce you to the Melania token, and I'll show you what I mean by a rug pull. Rug pulls are illegal. People have been sent to jail for rug pulls until Donald Trump took office. And now it doesn't seem to be a crime anymore. Let me give you the 1-year price. Is this it? I wonder if I can pick the dates here. Let's do 1 year. All right, this is the Melania coin price here. You'll see it was introduced a day before Trump took office. And it was worth basically nothing. And it was introduced on the 19th, and I think it peaked at, what, $12? I think it got up here to $12 maybe. Did it ever get that high? At 5 p.m. So what happens with a rug pull? They decide they're going to release a crypto coin called the Melania coin. And all the people who are aware of it, the insiders, they can buy coins early. And they can buy them at a set price. So Donald Trump, all his friends, the people behind the Melania token, they all go in and they get pre-sale Melania coin tokens. And then when they launch the coin, Donald Trump and all of his friends go on social media and they say, buy Melania token right now. It's going to be the future. And the price pumps. And when the price pumps, when the price goes up to $12, it does that because people are buying it. So it inflates the value of each coin. And all the people that bought in earlier are watching this price go up. And at some point, they're doing some sort of calculation of what they think it's going to cap at, like the highest price it's going to go. And then they all sell. And that's why you see the price do this. By February 2nd, let's go January 28th, 8 days later, it's worth $3.68. And now, today, it's worth 16 cents. All of the money that the people who bought the coin early cashed out with is the money of dipshits. It's Donald Trump's followers who saw him tweet, buy this token, and they were already late. The game was rigged against them from the fucking start, but Donald Trump doesn't care. He'll bilk his followers, he'll steal from them, and they don't care because they don't think he can do any wrong. So they stole from Donald Trump's followers. They did this with the Melania coin, and they did it with Trump coin, too. I don't know if I can pull the Trump coin price chart. That's a pump and dump. It's illegal. But the reason we'll never investigate it is because the people Donald Trump has put in charge say, we do what Donald Trump says. So they're not going to investigate that crime. Donald Trump's running a money laundering operation. They're not investigating that. He ran multiple crypto pump and dumps. We're not going to investigate that. He's taken billions of dollars from the people who funded 9/11. We're not going to investigate any of that.
He recently stuffed $75 million into the black box.
So now we're back. Sorry to go back. This is Justin's son. So we first talked about CZ. Now we're talking about fraudster Justin's son.
Buying the WLF token, and this really helped give an early start to World Liberty Financial when a lot of people were skeptical of the company and not buying its token. He starts becoming friendly with Trump's sons. He's named an advisor to the business. He's not just investing in the business or buying their tokens. He's actually basically on the masthead. He's part of the company now.
Brittany said Jay After Dark should be a thing. Thank you. I like being here after dark.
So what does Justin's son get out of this relationship?
He gets potential financial benefits and the ear of the president and his sons, but more importantly, there was a multi-billion-dollar fraud case brought by the FCC against Justin's son. And after this relationship forms between Sun and World Liberty Financial, that case gets thrown out. There's sort of a rogues gallery of strange and potentially criminal people surrounding World Liberty Financial, some of whom have given them tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars, and we don't know a lot about them. One of them is a company called Aqua One Foundation, which appeared at the beginning of the summer announcing a $100 million deal with World Liberty Financial. And we know that they sent $100 million worth of stablecoins to World Liberty Financial, but beyond that, they don't really seem to exist. I've looked into them, and there was also a Reuters investigation, and the best...
Some just unnamed company that we can't figure out if they exist sent $100 million to Trump. We're not going to investigate that. We're not even going to talk about it. Angel Face said, love the late night RTB way better than having to catch half the show at lunch. We may start doing some night shows instead of morning shows. Jen and I are going to look at the numbers.
So we can find is that they're run by two guys from China who used to be involved with a company called Web3port. This was another crypto company that was accused of market manipulation and various scams. They claim to be based in the United Arab Emirates. There are no corporate records that a company called Aqua One Foundation even exists in the UAE. But apparently these two Chinese businessmen, one who seems to work for a Chinese state energy company and one who's being investigated for financial crimes in England, were able to send $100 million to the president.
Weird.
And we don't know what they want, what they expect in return, or even where that money might have come from, but they definitely...
But Hunter Biden, right? Unnamed Chinese investors who are wanted for other crimes are sliding Trump a cool $100 million. You guys don't want to talk about it? For a lot of people asking, this video is called We Investigated the Criminals Who Bought Trump. What we found will shock you. It's on More Perfect Union's YouTube page.
Definitely sent it.
The key innovation here isn't any kind of improvement on the financial system. World Liberty Financial looks pretty much like any other crypto company out there. The innovation is now anyone, anywhere in the world, at any time.
Hey, Tony. welcome to the stream, Tony Kaiser. When you come to this stream, you have to talk about what we're talking about. You don't just get to change the subject. This is our country, and you must assimilate, okay? So when you come here, you speak our language. You do what we ask you to do. You assimilate to our culture that we have created here. We do not want you poisoning our blood. We do not want you, Jen, I'm getting feedback. We do not want you unloading your family into our country. So this is your one warning. You will stay on topic or you will be deported back to the shithole from whence you came. Thank you. What's up, Jen?
I was having fun poking at Tony. You're taking away my fun.
Oh, you can keep poking him. I didn't get rid of him yet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I know. I'm just saying, don't take away all my fun.
Okay, sorry.
Has a way to buy influence with the President of the United States. Permissionless, mostly untrackable, with plausible deniability. It's not an exaggeration to say that this system could make Donald Trump the richest man in the world in a few short years. Meanwhile, the tough-on-crime president is associating with some of the biggest criminals in the world. ICIJ investigations have found Binance repeatedly helped transfer money for accounts associated with Chinese crime gangs and the Mexican Sinaloa cartel. And that's exactly why money...
We're funneling money for cartels now? All right, Tony, you've been in this country for 73 years. Sorry, Jen, we got to do it. Tony is not assimilating. Tony is destroying our culture. He's also calling me Junior. Tony, you are being deported back from the shithole from whence you came. It sounds like you're old as fuck. So what I'm telling you is you're going to be muted for 5 minutes. You're going to try and type some shit, Tony, and it's not going to show up because you got muted. And this is on the internet, and we can do that. So think about what you've done, Tony. And in 5 minutes, you can come back and you can talk to us. But you will assimilate. You will follow our rules, or you will be sent to CCOT forever. Do you understand, Tony? I'm sending.
He can't respond. He's already timed out.
All right, Tony, enjoy your deportation. Get to the back of the line. Come back the right way. We don't mind immigrants. We just don't want. We want you to do it the right way, and we want you to assimilate. So we'll see you in a bit, Tony.
Normally moves slowly through the global economy. We need to know where this money is coming from, how it was made, and who we're doing business with. Anything less is just increasing the speed of corruption.
All right. We don't have a lot of time left, and I'm going to fuck up your night. All of that is bad. Some Republicans now have said that's speculation. We don't have evidence that Trump's doing anything with this. I want you to listen to this announcement. Now knowing all of that, now knowing that virtually all the money Trump is making is now through cryptocurrency, the future wealth of his family and his donors and his closest friends and allies rely on cryptocurrency being the future. Now I want you to hear this message from Donald Trump yesterday.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after many...
We're changing the backbone of our monetary system to crypto. You gonna rest that case yet, MAGA? $4 billion of his entire net worth, his entire future is tied up in crypto. And the only thing standing between the destruction of our entire monetary system and the selling of our country to the highest bidder, unfortunately, is a group of the dumbest motherfuckers this country has ever assembled. The most pathetic, crybaby, low IQ, low information, emotional, dumb motherfuckers. We need you, some of you, to reach deep in the recesses of your brain and turn that shit back on. I don't know how long you've been checked out for. You might have to blow on it. It's dumb, RBG. I actually think it's dumb. And the reason I think it's dumb and not evil is because it's at their own detriment. None of this is better for them. They're dumb. They're throwing away everything for Donald fucking Trump. A man who has been known until he was president. The only thing people knew about Donald Trump is rich, cheats in business, cheats in family, cheats on TV. He was a villain. He was known as a crook. He was known as a scumbag. He was known as a person who finessed the system to get rich. He wasn't known as somebody with good ideas. He wasn't known as somebody who ran good businesses. He was known as a guy who manipulated the media to get himself out of jams all the fucking time. He was the loudest motherfucker in the room. That's who he's always been. And then Republicans sold their fucking souls. And it's no surprise that it's the boomer generation largely who holds Trump up. And I'm gonna shit on the boomer generation, understanding that there are boomers in this audience who don't fit this. But boomers took an economy with some debt and some problems, and they said, we want to keep all our money. And we want the price of our houses to accelerate so that when we retire, we can sell our house and we can live in luxury. At 60 years old, we'll retire, we'll live for 20 or 30 years, and we'll have plenty of money. And along the way, they had all these opportunities to close up loopholes and stop the massive transfer of wealth. But all along the way, they looked at their own bank account and they said, my bank account's going up, so I don't care about the transfer of wealth. And what you've left for me, for my family, for Gen Z, for Gen X, for millennials, is $38 trillion in debt that we can't pay for. And you will be dead before it hurts you. And you won't shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of the way while we fix it. Because why? Because you're all fucking arrogant. There has never been a more silver-spooned generation than the fucking boomers. You walked into a gold mine. You were handed the easiest fucking existence in United States history. No matter what job you got, if you showed up, you could afford a family. You could raise a family. You could buy a house. As long as you weren't a complete and total dipshit, you could make it. And then you made it, and then you look at us and you're like, we worked hard for this. You guys are complainers. You didn't work hard for it. You were handed a gold mine. You fucked it up. You didn't want to pay your bills. So you're leaving us with a $38 trillion check. And then you elected a dumb motherfucker who's just going to steal all the money. And you're like, yeah, you guys are whiners. Look at your blue hair and your empathy. This is the demise of America. If we collapse, it will be on the boomer generation. Pathetic, cowardly, selfish, dipshit Republican boomers. Every Republican boomer who is arrogant enough to keep defending this, respectfully, fuck you. I hate that I have to talk to boomers every day. I hate that like if I tried to talk to my dad about this, he would just bury his head in the sand, just like all the other boomers, and be like, nothing's ever our fault. We earned everything. You guys are complainers. How would you like it if you just, like, you went on your first day at the job and your boss came up, he's like, hey, by the way, here's $200,000 of debt that you have to pay off while you try and make ends meet. Good luck making those payments. And all along the way, every time you try and make a payment, we're going to figure out ways that make you bring home less income. We're going to cut your ability to get health care. We're not going to give you the same type of tax write-offs that we give your boss. We're going to inflate the cost of housing by allowing your boss, who has a lot more money than you, to buy 15 houses and then go ahead and rent those out. We're just going to fuck you over all along the way. And the whole time we're fucking you over, we're going to call you a whiny bitch for pointing out that you're fucking us over. So respectfully to the boomer generation who is rolling over and taking it from Donald Trump right now, respectfully to all of you who refuse to stand up and do something for your children, for your grandchildren, for the future of America, you selfish fucking pricks, go fuck yourself. For the boomers who are here and who are fighting, I want to say this. It would be very fucking easy for you to do what the rest of those cowards are doing. It would be very fucking easy for you to not recognize the privilege that you were born into and just coast right now and pretend that everybody else is the problem. So I do also want to say to the boomers who are here, who are still fighting, thank fucking God for you. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for having just the slightest bit of empathy and looking at the generations coming behind you and saying, we need to fix this. Because it would be easy for you to just be MAGA. It's the easiest fucking thing in the world. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to do math. You just have to know that everybody who disagrees with Donald Trump is an idiot, and that's it. So we're gonna end here tonight by saying, blue boomers, thank you. We love you. We hope to see you continually in the fight. Red boomers, go fuck yourselves. Do us all a favor. Shut the fuck up. Enjoy your retirement. We know you're not going to do anything, but if you could just leave politics, please. Just leave and shut the fuck up. You don't get we don't want your opinion anymore. We don't want you defending this criminal anymore. Please leave. Please shut the fuck up. You're fucking up the generations coming behind you, and you're teaching some of your kids and your grandchildren to be just as fucking dumb as you are. It takes a remarkably stupid person to look at $37 trillion in debt and think, what if we cut taxes for billionaires some more? Will that fix it? What if we let the president just openly take bribes? Will that fix it? Of course it won't fix it. You're soft, you don't learn things, and you like your privilege. So respectfully, fuck off. The world's changing. The world's going to turn against you. Nobody's going to care much what you have to say in the coming year because this is all collapsing. And if you could swallow some pride, it would be nice to have some of you join the fight with us to make some sense out of this shit. I've got a daughter who I really hope can grow up in a country where she has the same sort of upward mobility that you were gifted. I was a Boy Scout. I was a terrible Boy Scout. But one of the lessons I learned as a Boy Scout, and one of the lessons I learned from my dad, who I've mentioned before, I don't have a good relationship with my dad, but let me say this. My dad is one of those hardworking boomers. My dad came from poverty, and he was granted some stuff, like he inherited some money later on in his life. But my dad did work hard, and my dad is until Donald Trump came along, he was the kind of guy that you never heard him say anything bad about anybody. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like my dad. And you got forced into a corner where you were represented by Donald Trump, and you went through school through the Red Scare. You went through school believing that like socialism was your enemy. You lived through the Ronald Reagan era, and you were indoctrinated to think trickle-down economics worked. And then you're like my dad, you stopped being educated because you were old, you already went to school, you already had a business, you already made your living, you're retired now. Learning is fucking stupid anyways. What you really want when you turn on the TV every night is for somebody to tell you that you're not the problem and everything's okay. And the way that you think is actually perfect. And anybody who doesn't think how you think, they're actually the problem. And so a lot of you, I fully believe, tried to work hard. I think you want to be good people. You allowed this guy to make you shitty. You allowed this guy to drag you down. I think there's not a single person in here that I could imagine that had this much aggravation when it came to politics before Donald Trump. Politics were dirty. But when Obama won, most Republicans didn't think it was the end of the world. When Bush won, Democrats didn't think it was the end of the world, most of them. There was this sense of like when you lost an election that things weren't going to go exactly as you wanted. And some of the things that you cared about weren't going to be taken care of anymore. But we all kind of knew that like it would be fine. And somewhere along the way, Republicans just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's break the thing. I'm bored. Doesn't seem like there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans. I want something different. I'm bored. Let's get this demolition man in here. And you did that. And you all admitted that you did that. You all said you voted for him because you were tired of people being exactly the same. Fine. That's a legitimate reason to vote for Donald Trump. I'm cool with that. I think you had to overlook a whole bunch of bigotry in order for you to get there, but fine. Then he gets in office, and what did he change? He made it easier for rich people to steal all of your fucking money, to steal all of our fucking money. He's made it easier for the wealth to be consolidated into a couple people's hands. He didn't do anything for you. Not one thing got better for you. But you're arrogant, you're cocky, you're uneducated, and most of all, you're stubborn. And we have to beg you to face reality. I just showed you a 15-minute video of Donald Trump obviously taking money from the worst people in the world for running a money laundering outfit out of the White House. All the people that you claim are our enemies, drug traffickers, terrorists, countries that fund terrorism, countries like China who spy on us, who take our intellectual property, who allegedly we're in a fucking trade war with, and Donald Trump's just laundering money from them or for them. And we can't get you to fucking care. I think that your existence in that regard, if that's who you are, if you can watch this and you're still celebrating Donald Trump, I think that your political existence is a bit pathetic. I don't think it's very well thought out, and we've shown that time and time again in the chat here, in the debates that we do. You guys are crybabies. You want to talk about Joe Biden. You want to play whataboutism. It's all you want to do. The only thing you won't do is address what's happening right in front of you, which is the Republicans are in charge. They're writing the laws, and it's not going well. And because it's not going well, you guys want to talk about Joe Biden. And I think that it is sheer cowardice. I think that it's pathetic. I ask for you guys to come up and share your opinions and debate this every single day, and you won't. And I don't know how much this will help with anybody. This is probably just like me getting my feelings out. But boy, oh boy, am I, like, I've been tired of you, but it's so fucking obvious now. It's so fucking obvious now that when we play videos, literally the only response from Republicans is, what about Joe Biden? There's not one of you defending it. There's not one of you explaining why this should be legal. There's not one of you explaining how this is the norm, how other presidents have done this. Nothing. Not one of you can tell me why this is a good thing, why it should be accepted, why it's beneficial. You just want to be crybabies. Because he's a crybaby. We spent 40 minutes watching this guy on TV brag about things that didn't happen and blame Joe Biden like a crybaby bitch. At the very least, you could, if you want to accuse me of crying, fine. At least I'm crying about what's happening right now. At least I'm not reaching back in the past to ignore what's happening right in front of me. I think it is our patriotic duty to criticize the people who lead our country. It is our patriotic duty to criticize the people in Congress and you guys and the president. And you are all fucking pussies who won't criticize the president. You're literally saying, best president of my lifetime. Yeah, Job, nobody believes you. And if you think that Donald Trump's the best president of your lifetime, certainly you would have a fact, right? 3% GDP, wages are up, 20 trillion in new investment. No, it's made up, bud. All of these things are 3% GDP would not put him near the top of best presidents. That would put him about right in the middle, Job. Wages going up 5% would not put him near the top of best presidents ever. 20 trillion in new investment into the USA is a made up number. That's not even real. Inflation back down to pre-COVID levels of 2.5%. Inflation is not at 2.5%. It's above 2.5%. But it's exactly where since he took over. Stock market at an all-time high. Literally every president in history has had an all-time high stock market. No new wars. What the fuck are you watching? What are we doing blowing people up? This is what I'm talking about, Job. You are everybody. You are lazy. You're a dick rider. You're doing exactly what Trump does. You're bragging about mediocrity and calling it the best thing that's ever happened in your life. You're overhyping a mediocre man. That's the style. Bentley, why don't you come up? Why don't you come debate me then sometime? How about that? You've been here for 2 hours complaining about me. I've never met you. You seem to know who I am. Let's talk about it sometime. But next time, don't spend 2 hours complaining about me. Guys, I'll see you in the morning. That's the end of me tonight. We have a show to get ready for in the morning, 8:30 a.m. to noon Pacific Standard Time, right here, wherever you're watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Let me double check messages real quick. Say it, Chrissy. I think I got that one. Tony said, add the last part of Tony's name. I think it's me. My bad, Tony. I was not criticizing Tony Danza in the chat. It was the other Tony. It was Tony Baloney. I don't remember what his name was. And Angelia said, thank you for the late night show. Tim, thanks for joining the Dollar Train. I think I don't have anything to say after watching Trump burned out medic. Toddy said, thanks for a great show. Wendy said, I love the deportation policy. Cracks me up. Thank you both for your show. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Michelle. Dustin said, my military buddy is so fucking happy right now. It doesn't matter. He just sees dollar signs. I guess the bribe's working. Yeah, shocker. Jolie said, thank you for all you do. I think that's it. I think I got it all. See you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. to noon Pacific Standard Time, right here wherever you watch us. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, anywhere there's social media. Do me a favor before you leave. Will you check to make sure you're subscribed here? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so. And if you would like to join us Monday night for our movie night, where we're going to watch 2 more episodes of Dope Sick, make sure you're a paid member either on TikTok, YouTube, or Twitch, and we'll get you in the Discord, and you can watch that with us. Until then, everybody take care of yourselves, stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.